Very good morning to you. Thanks very much to John and the team for bringing you that India-Australia test match. We'll keep you up to date with that, of course, but it is T20 cricket that is our focus here on TalkSport 2 for the next few hours. England do need to win today in Mirpur to level this series at 1-1 and therefore take it to a decider on Tuesday. I can tell you some early team news. We are moments away from the toss, but Rayan Ahmed is going to be playing. He has been presented his cap, so he will be on debut today. It was Steve Harmison the other day saying that he thought it might be Chris Wokes or potentially Chris Jordan that would miss out. Well, I've seen Jordan out on the outfield doing warm-ups. I've not seen Chris Wokes as yet, so it may be that Harmy has called that one correctly. We will find out very shortly indeed, but Rayan Ahmed will be making his T20 international debut for England today. As I mentioned, Bangladesh won by 6 wickets on Thursday down in Chattogram. England only set them 157 for victory. They got there with 12 balls to spare, so England will want to improve, but we are back, as I say, in Mirpur, just on the outskirts of Dhaka, where they were successful in 2 of the one-day internationals, the 2 games that were played here. England were victorious, so they'll be pretty happy about things. Right, toss about to happen. Atta Ali Khan is on duty once again for us out in the middle.
And Yamur Rashid Rahul as the match referee. Shakib will toss the coin. Heads. Head is the call. Shakib, what have you decided?
We'll look to field first. As I said last game, we don't know what's the good score on this pitch, so we'll see.
Yeah, brilliant start. Bangladesh certainly showed that they've started to enjoy playing this format of the game in all 3 departments.
Yes, I thought we played really well on the last game, but today is another challenge for us. We know that how good England team is. They're the current world champion, so we have to play our best cricket. Boys are very confident at this moment, so hopefully we can play another very good game of match.
Yeah, as a skipper, it's always pleasing to see to get into the winning momentum, getting into the habit of winning matches. Great opportunity. Win today, win series.
Yes, but that only we can say after 40 overs. We have to play 40 overs of very good cricket. That's very important. We don't want to see the end result now. We want to play each over as it comes and see where we go.
Right, and any changes have you made?
Yes, we got one change. Mehdi Miraz playing in place of Shamim Patel.
All right, go well. Thanks, Shakib. Josh, what you would have done?
Yeah, we'd have liked to field first as well, and not having much luck with the toss.
Yeah, right, you have to bat first here, and it's a must-win situation for you. What have you been telling your boys?
Yeah, just to double down on the trust we have in our own game and the way we like to play our cricket. We played a lot of good cricket the other day, but didn't finish off our innings as we'd have liked, and that probably cost us the match. But we're still a good side. We have lots of belief, and we look forward to a good challenge today.
You made a very good start, 80-plus opening partnership, and then, as you mentioned rightly, the last 4 overs didn't go your way. So you want to do, if you start well, you want to carry on from the top order.
Yeah, of course. That's the dream for everyone. But of course, you're playing against a team that wants to fight back and do well. So, look, nothing's given in this game. You have to go out there and earn it. And, we have to play well to try and win the match.
And have you made any changes?
We have one change. Rayan Ahmed comes in for Mark Wood.
All right. Thanks. All the best. Right. The news from the middle is that Bangladesh has won the toss and they will bowl first.
Well, thank you very much to Atta Ali Khan on duty. Honestly, I don't know why they bother tossing the coin at the moment with Jos Buttler. I think that's 8 in a row he's lost. He's having a horrible time of it, poor bloke. But I suppose when you win in T20 World Cup finals, you'd rather win the trophy than the toss. So that's another one that's gone Bangladesh's way. Interestingly, once again, Shakib Al Hassan, as he did the other day down in Chattogram, said, we don't know what a good score is. Therefore, we would prefer to chase. So it is going to be England batting first. Well, I can tell you, according to the numbers, the average first innings in one-day in T20 internationals at Mirpur is 145. However, in the Bangladesh Premier League, in the recent edition, last 5 matches, it's been near a 165. So might be a little bit north of that. So that is the situation there. So we're just getting the confirmation of the teams through. So let's start with the England team because that should be relatively straightforward. And yeah, Mark Wood is the man left out with Rayan Ahmed coming in. So for England, it is Phil Salt, David Milan. Now that's interesting. Jos Buttler is listed at number 3 on this, and this is the official team sheet that has been handed to us. So Phil Salt, David Milan, Jos Buttler at 3, Ben Duckett's at 4, Moeen Ali 5, Sam Curran 6, Chris Wokes 7, Chris Jordan 8, Adil Rashid 9, Rayan Ahmed 10, Jofra Archer 11. And in terms of excuse me, Bangladesh, Shakib Al Hussain, Najmal Hussain Shanto, Rory Talakdar, Litton Das, Afif Hussain, Tawid Ridoy, Mehdi Hassan, Taskin Ahmed, Nasim Ahmed, Mustafa Zur, Rehman and Hassan Mahmood. So yeah, one change from the side the other day. Shamim Hossain is the man missing out. Delighted to say that Abhishek Junjunwala and Alex Tudor alongside me at this point, getting ready for the commentary. Morning to you first and foremost.
Morning, great man.
What do you make of that England side? We were expecting Rayan Ahmed to play. Mark Wood, the man missing out. I suppose England have been a little bit careful with their precious fast bowlers, not asking them to go back-to-back days.
Yeah, I always get excited if I'm going to see Mark Wood and Archer in the same side. You're going to get 90 mile an hour plus. You're going to get pace, but obviously with his injury record, they're trying to monitor and look after him. So that's totally understandable. As you say, Rayan Ahmed comes in. They like this young lad. They obviously think that this wicket's has got some purchase. So to get him in, and as you say, it's another opportunity for the young man to show everyone on the world stage what he can do.
It is interesting though, they've elected to let Jofra Archer play back-to-back games for the first time in this. So Mark Wood's not playing back-to-back, but Jofra Archer is. Abhishek Junjunwala, the former IPL batsman, is with us. Just to pick up on that England batting order, as I say, this is taken from the official team sheet. Jos Buttler at 3, David Milan up to open with Phil Salt. What do you make of that, Abby?
I mean, anybody would want Buttler to open the innings. It's just experimental. They're giving him an opportunity at the top of the order again. If he comes out, we don't know for certain that he's going to come out and bat, open the innings, David Milan. But we'll have to wait and see. But again, as we discussed, top teams do this. They always experiment with their bowling, with their batting. Sometimes they go a bit bowling heavy, sometimes they go a bit batting heavy. So at the moment, I think it's a bit experimental, but though it is experimental, they still want to win the series. I don't think England would want to go back or come back to England losing a series. They've done really well in the one days. After 7 years, Bangladesh lost at home, and probably they would like to keep the record here, England. They'll want to win back-to-back matches here. But again, David Milan, we know he's batted beautifully in the first game of the series when he got that magnificent 100. But since then, his form just dipped a little bit. Maybe he tried a bit too much. Hopefully, if he gets an opportunity to bat at the top of the order, he'll get to use the power play that'll help his batting.
I still wonder, and I know Harmy poo-pooed it the other day, but England, if you have Salt and Buttler opening, you've then got 4 lefties in a row. And I do wonder, actually, would Buttler even be better off potentially even going down to 4?
Yeah.
And that way that then breaks up, because as it is, you've still got Duckett, Moeen Ali, Sam Curran, 3 lefties in a row. So if you get a bowler settling into his groove, and we know they've got some spinners, I don't know. I might be completely barking up the wrong tree there.
And probably that's the reason they brought back Mehendi again into the side in today's game, another off spinner in the middle order. And if they have 4 left-handers, as you just mentioned, it does make life a little difficult if you have a right-hander and somebody of the quality of Jos Buttler coming in at number 4 rather than coming in at number 3. That does make life a bit easier for the batting order with the right-hand, left-hand combination.
So then, England will be disappointed with the performance in the first game, but as we all know, T20 cricket comes along very, very quickly, and it can change very, very quickly. So from an England point of view, Choots, I mean, I always like these kind of games in the fact that, you know, if you want to win a 3-game series and you're 1 down, you simply have to win the second. It really is as simple as that.
Yeah, 100%. The gentlemen will be disappointed with the way that the first game went. They're always looking for positives out of it. Obviously, the skipper's in fantastic form at the moment and continues to lead from the front. But now it's up for the individuals, your Phil Salts and obviously Milan again, Duckett, these individuals coming into the side. If they want to cement their place, you have to put your hand up and you're going to have to go out there and score the score that's going to get your team over the line.
Bangladesh, of course, winning the first game, so they've got some confidence. They're back to that Mirpur stronghold, although actually it's not as much of a stronghold in T20s as it was in one-day internationals. At Mirpur they played 41 games, they've won 19 of them, losing 22, and they've actually lost 6 of their last 8 on this venue in T20 cricket. So actually, Avi, it's not quite the stronghold, but it's going to be the friendly confines, isn't it? We saw the crowd absolutely rock up down in Chattogram. There's already a decent sprinkling in and around the stadium already. By the time of first ball, there's going to be an awful lot of noise for this one.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be a full house. It's a Sunday, and I'm sure everyone would want to be in that stadium and watch this match live, especially when Bangladesh got an opportunity to win the series if they win this game. And again, I think Bangladesh their T20 cricket has never been their stronghold. They've always struggled a bit with T20 cricket. They've been exceptional in the 50-over format. But I think they're in a rebuilding phase here. They are trying to build the right T20 team for next year. So they are also trying a lot of combination. Shakib is again leading the side. So that gives them a lot of experience with him. And I think the way they played the previous match, the way they come back, at one point after 10 overs, England were 80 for no loss. And we thought they were going to end up getting 180, 190. From there, for them to come back so strongly and get them rolled over for 156 or keep them at 156 was a terrific effort. And batting, they made it look like a piece of cake, really. When they came out, they chased it with so much ease.
Absolutely. Well, you mentioned the start that England got in that second game. 80 without loss in the 10th over. Phil Salts did well in that. He made 38 from 35 balls before he was the first man out. He's been speaking with our reporter out in Bangladesh, Will McPherson, on that first T20.
Phil, sort of a disappointing, difficult night for England?
Yeah, disappointing night. You want to win every game of cricket you can. But full respect to these guys, they've played very well in their own conditions, and they've certainly given us something to think about if we're going to come back and win the series now.
There's a serious atmosphere in here as well, wasn't there? Could you kind of hear things when you were fielding? Was it too loud?
To be fair, it was a very good atmosphere. I didn't expect that many to be in after the showing the other day, but the crowd were fantastic. Fair play to them.
You and Joss put on 80 for the first wicket, and then you got out at the sort of halfway point of the innings. How do you reflect on your own knock tonight?
I did the hard work on a difficult wicket. Obviously, once you get to 40 odd, you want to kick on and you want to win the game for your side. The ball did stay a little bit low. I got a feather of a nick on it. I didn't actually think I nicked it, to be honest with you. That's why I reviewed it. But on a different day, stuff like that can actually go your way and you kick on. But that's certainly the goal for myself. I look at innings like that and I think, how do I turn that into the match-winning performance?
What's the big challenge, kind of trying to set a score out here? Did you have a feel when you and Joss were batting about what a good score was? Obviously, in the end, the team didn't quite get there, fell away a bit at the end. But did you have a sense of what you wanted?
We didn't talk about totals when we were out there. To be honest, we mainly spoke about being smart and taking the sort of low-risk option most of the time. So no, we didn't have a total in our mind. But to be honest with you, we know that we should have got a few more tonight.
And you've got the best seat in the house to watch Joss Buttler, who again he's just been unbelievably consistent T20 opener now for England. All teams he plays for all over the world. It must be quite nice to stand at the other end and watch that.
Oh, definitely. As I said in the press conference, he's my favourite partner to open the batting with. He is the benchmark in white ball cricket at the moment, and everyone's trying to follow what he does, I suppose. And him kicking on and getting the score we did today is something that I'm going to try and emulate, I suppose.
Tour goes back to Dhaka now. What have England got to do better to turn the series around?
To be honest, the key word in this part of the world for us is adapt. Again, it's very different conditions to here. Here it's a little bit slower, a little bit lower, whereas in Dhaka you see the ball turn and bounce a lot more. So I think it's all about adapting. You know, the options that you took on this wicket may not be the same as you're going to take in Dhaka. So adapting and taking the right options.
After a couple of scores, starts for yourself, do you feel that big score's just around the corner?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the best players do it 1 in every 7, 100 1 every 7, 50 1 every 5, and that sort of a thing. So I've had 4 knocks out here, and I'm sort of bubbling away. I feel good in myself, hitting the ball well, but hopefully that match-winning performance is around the corner.
Phil Salt in conversation with Will McPherson. Just interesting, a couple of things he said there. That his favourite opening partner is Josh Buttler. Unfortunately, they're not going to be opening this evening, is the information that we're getting, and that he realises he needs to go on and make a score. Phil Salt's record, 14 T20s coming into today, 283 runs at 23.6, a best of 88 not out, and 2 50s. But of course, the all-important number in T20 cricket is strike rate, 151.3 overall, and actually away from home, it's even better than that. It's 154.1 in 11 games. So actually 11 out of the 14 games he's played, he's actually played away from home, Phil Salt. Abby, from what you see, is Phil Salt pretty much inked in long-term as at least one of the openers for England? Who will be opening with is probably another thing, but Phil Salt done enough for you to be considered there long term?
Average and strike rate, absolutely yes. 23 is a pretty decent average in T20 cricket, and especially the strike rate. If you can strike a ball at 150, I mean, you've got to play at that level. And if you can do it consistently, as an opener, any team wants somebody to start and score runs at the speed of 150, 160 with a strike rate. And once you do that, that puts a lot of pressure on the opposition. And that's where India has struggled over the years, because you've got the likes of Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul, who both strike at around 115, 120. They pick up their pace once they are set, but by that time you're far behind in the game. And that's where you need players like Josh Buttler and Phil Salt, who can go out there and start scoring at that strike rate from the word go.
Alex Tudor is with me, along with Abhishek Junjunwala. Harmy was talking a lot about Mark Wood and Jofra Archer as a pair, Tudes. This was where I wanted to go with this. How do you see them blending as a partnership? Because interestingly, we had the other day, because we're all sort of thinking, well, right, here we go, we're going to come charging in from the outset. Sam Curran and Chris Wokes took the first 2 overs, and Jofra actually was first change. How do you see that working in a T20 scenario, if you like?
Well, we know the importance with the new ball is that you need it to swing. So obviously, you know, Sam Curran, if he's in the side, he needs to bowl with that brand new ball, because he's going to get the shape, the swing back into the right hander, away from the left hander. Also with Chris Wokes, you know, he bowls that length that he's very upright, and he does look to take the ball away from the right hander. So if they're going to bowl, they're going to have to bowl with that new ball. I know people will think, you know, Mark Wood and Archer have the pace, so you need to give it to them, but they can bowl slightly later on, because they're obviously Mark Wood is quick through the air. Jofra's a very smart and canny bowler, but he can hit the wicket hard, and he has his little slight variations. You know, he bowls his cutters, back of the hand balls, you know, knuckle ball, whatever it is. So he has those skills. So it works very well for Buttler, I think. See if there's swing early on. Get Curran and Wokes on. If it's not swinging, get them off. Get Archer and Wood on. And then you have options. And with that blend that he has fantastic options. If it's turning, you've got Mo, you've got Rashid, you've got now Rahim Ahmed, the young lad we're going to see bowling a little later. So he's got a lot of options, and it's just getting that blend and just being able to manoeuvre it. Obviously Topley, who's slightly injured, you've got that left-handed option as well, who's slightly taller obviously than Curran, and bowls a different length.
The options is the interesting thing. The other day England used 7 bowlers in a 20 over innings. Obviously the maximum you can bowl is 4, so you have to use 5 as a minimum. Bangladesh just use the minimum 5. And I guess that there are times where actually having more bowlers will work for you, and there are times when actually having less bowlers works for you, because actually you've got to kind of find a plan that works. And when someone is going well, then actually you can keep them going and want to keep them going. I guess it's that sort of balance between the two.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, listen, when you have a lot of options, if it's not slightly clicking for someone, then you don't have to worry about that bowler coming back to bowl if you have. But I also agree with you where if you've only got the 5, it's those guys that are going to bowl, and they just have to, you know, be up for the challenge and just get on with it. You can hide a little bit when you've got more options, because you bowled a 1 or 2, it's not quite working, you're not bowling again. So again, it is about options. But listen, you know, these sort of games, you know, for the captain and coach, they want to see how individuals bowl. The conditions are going to, as I said, are going to be quite similar when they get to India. So you want to see how guys are able to deal with that, deal with the pressure. International stage against a very good side. Go and show us what you can do. And I always say, listen, even though England haven't got their full strength side, it's about the opportunity. You've now got the opportunity. The ball's in your court. Go and take it.
Yeah, I just want to add a couple of things. I sometimes feel when you have too many options, does as a bowler, it makes you a bit complacent. That if I go for runs, it's okay because I've got backup. Somebody else can come and bowl those 2 overs.
That's very true, and it's same. And I'll throw that back at the batters as well. When you pack your bat in,
absolutely,
you always say, "Oh, next person will get runs. The next person get runs." So it works both ways. Agree.
Yeah. If you know when you're walking out the dressing room that as a bowler there are only 5 of us, I am going to bowl my 4. You might end up doing 2 and then a 1 and a 1, but you know you're doing your 4, and so that whole mental thing of I've got my work to do. I
mean, just a brief story, and it's not 2020, it was in a test match, and we were playing at Old Trafford, but against Sri Lanka. Andrew Caddick, you know, he starts the game, doesn't finish, so there's literally myself, Flintoff, Hoggard, Ashley Giles. It was just us, and Nasser just came up to us and said, lads, you need to, you know, Hoggy, you're going to have to bowl those overs that Caddy bowls, because you've got that longevity, you can bowl, and then I'm going to use Freddie and Alex to bowl short and sharp spells, and then hopefully Ashley Giles to hold up one end. And it worked, and we just had the 4 against a very strong Sri Lanka batting lineup.
Just want to add one more thing. So if you have other bowlers and you know you've got 2 or 3 other bowlers who can come and do the job, if you bowl 1 bat over 15, you know you're not going to bowl again, so you're relaxed. But if you know you have to bowl 4, you can't afford to go for 60. That's embarrassing. So I think sometimes it works better if you only have 5 bowlers. You've got to take a lot more responsibility as a bowler then.
Absolutely. It is T20 international cricket. We're a couple of minutes away from the first ball of this second match of this 3-match series. Absolutely vital that England win this one if they want to go on and be the overall series winners, because they lost by 6 wickets on Thursday down in Chattogram. Back to Mirpur, where they won 2 one-day internationals, and there are 2 games for this one. 1 change apiece from both sides from the game on Thursday. Mehdi Hassan is in for Bangladesh, while Rayan Ahmed is in for England. Mark Wood is the man who misses out for him. Right, as you can probably tell, the players are on their way out to the middle, along with the umpires Shafadullah and Ghazi Soel. So I'm going to get out the way as David Milan and Phil Salt prepare to take guard. And taking you through the first spell of commentary, delighted to say Jared Kimber alongside me this morning.
Thank you, Andrew McKenna. Well, Phil Salt is going to be opening up. We heard from him earlier with Will McPherson. So far in his international career, he's averaged just under 24 with a strike rate of 151. 151's pretty handy, Toots.
Yeah, as you know, as a stats man, you know, in the T20, you know, as you said, averaging over 150, you're worth your weight in gold, aren't you, really?
Yeah, there aren't many people like that out there. Tuscan Ahmed, he's got an economy of 7.8 in his T20 career so far, but he's a vastly improved bowler. We got absolutely rammed outside this stadium, trying to get everyone in. Apparently, the change of times, perhaps, on this series a couple of weeks ago maybe has confused a couple of the punters, I'm not sure. But they're not getting into the ground at the moment, as Tuscan Ahmed is absolutely gagging to come in at the moment. Waiting for the Mr. White detergent powder countdown to finish. I'm not sure if he's bowling from the Mr. White detergent powder end. I think he might be at the bank end, actually. Got 1 slip in place. second. The floater there. As here comes Taskin Ahmed. And Phil Salt pushes this on the offside straight to point. And there's no run. It's an interesting colour of brown, this pitch, isn't it? It looks like a fake pitch. It looks like a computer game pitch.
It does. It does. But been impressed with Taskin. Wholehearted cricketer, bowler, gives absolutely everything. Good first ball, back of a length, hitting the splice of the bat. Not a lot of width on offer.
England just faced the first, just a one ball here on TalkSport 2 so far. That was Alex Tudor and Jared Kimber. Taskin in again, and this swings as Phil Salt comes down. It's given a wide. Go over to Alex Tudor to ask if he thinks that was a wide in a moment. But Phil Salt came down on the leg side to smack that. And, I don't think that's a wide choose.
No, it's not. It's harsh. There you go with batter's game in it.
I mean, he's backed away. I wonder if that made the umpire feel like it was further away. Though it went directly over the wide line. So he had a good view of it, the umpire.
We are here for the batter's entertainment, aren't we, as bowlers? Especially in this format.
Salt facing up again. So England are off the mark with that wide. Taskin gets this one straight. That's chipped in the air. But there's no one in a catching position on the leg side. It goes wide of mid-on, and they stroll through for a single. I just noted that on the pitch, have a look how much he's dug up the pitch just from landing his foot there once. You don't often. It's not often you see that. So it might be something to keep our eye on going forward of just what's going on with his surface. That one just again straightening. So 2 balls in a row. He's just swung the ball away a little bit from the right-hander. He's going to be bowling to David Malan now, the left-hander, who is just taking guard. Is this tactical, or is this left hand, right hand? Or?
Yeah, I think so. Just to change it up a little bit. I think David Malan would have jumped to that, get to the top of the order. Batters in this format, they want to open. They want their chance to go out there, and while the field is only 2 out there, so they can go out and express themselves. And we know the form that David Malan has been in recently.
To be facing up to Taskin Ahmed. Third ball of this second T20. It's full, it's straight, it swings, it's gone down leg. They're going to get runs. They'll probably get 4 leg byes here. They will. There's an appeal though. I feel that was a fraction outside leg stump, but it was a great delivery, and David Malan was not expecting the big in-swinging Yorker first up, and he's probably gotten away with that just because Taskin Ahmed's got it too far down leg.
Yeah, great delivery from Taskin. As I said, he gives absolutely everything. He's shaped it away from the right-hander, so he's bringing it back into David Malan, and it was a full sort of Yorker length swinging back into him. I think it may be just missing, but a fantastic delivery. Yeah, for me, and his back foot just outside leg stump for me, but a fantastic delivery. No player really wants that early on in their innings, a ball swinging back into you.
Taskin in again. This is a length ball, swings back in. He's defended to short mid wicket. There's going to be no run there. Taskin Ahmed looks absolutely full of beans. England have scored 1 single and 5 extras so far. That's the way to start. This is more like an under-12s game than a proper game so far. But again, he's swung, I think, almost every delivery he's bowled so far.
He's bowled a good length as well, JK. He's bowled a really good length, not giving width whatsoever, and bowling that sort of heavy length we talk about where it's hitting the batter's splice, so the stickers just below the handle. Good bowling.
Taskin coming in, huge ankle brace on his right ankle. He comes in short. This is spoon pull shot by Malan, but there's no one out there. Got that a lot finer than I thought originally, and that's going to go for 4. Just on his hip, almost just spoons it around the corner and picks up a boundary.
Yeah, that delivery there didn't come off with the same ferocity. Really just slowed up David Malan a lot of time, just helped it along. As I said, went a lot finer. That sort of deep square, well behind. Deep square leg, good shot from David Malan, gets himself off the mark. Valuable 4 runs.
So there's Malan's first runs. He's 4 from 3. Kind of strike rate he's not used to, for being honest. This ball comes back, is vicious. On a length outside off stump, swings back in, good pace. Yeah, 135 kilometres an hour, but it surprised Milan with extra bounce. Ends up at short mid-wicket. There's no run. The 1 over. England are 10 without loss here on TalkSport 2 with Jared Kimber and Alex Tudor.
Yeah, a bit unlucky there. I thought Taskin's first over was decent. He's ended up going for double figures, so that can happen in T20 cricket. I think he could be happy with the lengths he's bowled.
Don't forget it was leg buys, so it didn't ruin his figures.
No, that's right. Go down as extras, and we like that as bowlers, don't we? But I just say a good start from England. I just say a decent start from Taskin, but as you say, in T20 cricket, he's ended up going for 10.
So we've got Phil Salt and Dawood Malan opening the batting. Be interesting to see what the rest of the order is. There's a lot of left-handers. England seem to have a lot of left-handers at the moment. Rehan Ahmed is making his debut. Salt is just 1 off the 2 balls he's faced so far. Malan is 4 off 4, and the rest of the runs have come from extras. We're going to see Mustafizur Rahman, the Fizz. 80 international games and an economy of 7.65. Been bowling very, very good. This is his preferred format of cricket. It's just at the top of his mark now. Long loopy steps. He's got a slip in place, and the slip was almost there straight away. Length ball outside off stump. Salt pushes at it, gets an outside edge, flies between probably 3rd and 4th slip, and goes for 4.
It's a terrible game at times, isn't it? The poor bowler, he's bowled a very good length, just going across, angling across Phil Salt. He's got a wide slip, sort of second slip, and it's sort of gone 3rd, and it races down to 3rd for 4. First ball, 4 runs, bowler under pressure straight away.
He doesn't have a 3rd down there either, so he's got I want to say a short 3rd, but it's not even a short 3rd. As Mustafizur comes in, and Salt tries to muscle this off a length on his pads, gives himself some room, hits it straight to mid-on, doesn't get a lot of it, if we're being honest, and there's no run. Yeah, he's got a second slip, and then he's got, it's almost like a gully, but back on the rope.
Yeah, sort of that gully line, that one-day gully line.
Yes, so this is a new thing that we've seen, in the last 2 or 3 years, where, traditionally when you played, you would have had a 3rd out straight away. Then over the last couple of years, we've had deep point out straight away. Now you have this deep backward point position because players were just slashing and getting boundaries. And so what teams are saying now is, well, if you hit a beautiful cover drive, good on you, but we think you're just going to slash at this. This is a bit of a slash from Phil Salt. He tries to hoik this over the offside. A muscular attempt from a full ball outside off stump, and ends up in the keeper's glove, no run.
Yeah, good snap for Murtaza there. Good snap there, Phil Salt just sort of staying leg side, trying to lace him over the extra cover region, missing it. Just needs to feel bat on ball for me. Just looks a little bit rushed, doesn't he?
Linton Dars took that above his eyes too, it's worth noticing. Just having a look at them moving. Deep point looks right, just almost between the 2 places you normally see him. So not quite backward, not quite at cover. And this is on off stump and flicked around the corner to the sweeper. And deep backward square leg, and they take run. Salt moves to 6 from 6. Milan's on 4 from 4. 15 for none on TalkSport 2 after 1.4 overs. Mustafizur has got 2 balls left in his first over. Both the bowlers have gone for boundaries, but probably with their 2 best balls. I'm not sure if the TV producers get paid per sighting of Alan Donald, but I do feel I've seen a lot of Alan Donald this series. Not as much of Rangana Harath. He does another man with a lot of test wickets. He's just in the background somewhere. Former bank clerk, of course. Milan facing Mustafizur's edge, another one towards slip. I think that's Shanto in there. I've seen him do some good work in the slips. This time he stops it on the bounce. Just a typical Milan shot. Caught on the crease, pushed his hands at the ball. Maybe a little bit of swing away. It wasn't so much an edge, it was almost off the face. And I think that's Shanto in there again, just stopping that. Probably, well, I'm assuming they don't have a 3rd in again, so it probably would have been another boundary. Last ball of this over, 15 for none. 5 runs so far, just 4 off that edge. Just outside off stump. They do have a 3rd in place, and he picks this up as Milan slices this outswinger in the air, one bounce down to third. The end of the second over, 16 without loss. Salt on 6 from 6. Milan on 5 from 6. Alex Tudor.
Yeah, it's been decent from Bangladesh. Two overs gone so far. England raced to 16. But as you said, the two balls that have gone to boundaries have most probably been the bowler's best deliveries. Good to see Mustafa back. You know, he had a lot of injuries. He burst onto the scene. You know, every franchise when he went to the IPL did extremely well. Then he went missing for a while. Good to see him back. Looking at his paces, bowling sort of 87, 86 miles an hour. So he's got that nip back, and it's really important for him because he's got a lot of tricks as well. So,
well, the other thing is, he didn't swing it a lot in that over, but he did swing a couple. He faded them. He couldn't swing the ball at all in the original version of him, partly because he didn't need to, because no one could hit him anyway. But he's been working on that a lot, just, you know, bringing the ball back away from left-handers into the right-handers, which is kind of what left-handers usually do. Taskin Ahmed, full wide. Dawid Malan swings at this hard, and it ends up in Lytton Dus's gloves above shoulder height again too.
It's very toothpaste, JK. It's very toothpaste, this wicket. As you said, that one...
I thought you said toothpaste for a minute, and also I was going to agree with you.
It just, as you said, Lytton Dus has taken out above near enough eye level. Good pace from Taskin. Dawid Malan just sort of, not sort of shutting his eyes, but sort of just getting his base and just swinging a bat through it. Missed it horribly.
It's got this weird, it's almost like this Asian tennis bally bounce thing where it's digging in and coming up. We've seen a couple of them do that, but still carrying very well, almost like an Australian wicket. Taskin in again. This is a top edge. He tries to swing this away. It's going to go to third. Hassan down on the boundary. He tried to swing this over to the leg side. Dawid Malan. We've seen a couple of bizarre wickets from him recently. What a huge cheer from the crowd. But big edge, flies down to third, and they've got him caught. They almost had him in the previous over as well, Alex Tudor.
Yeah, for me it's a poor shot. As I said, he's trying to make use of the power play. But you say getting up and underneath, and it flies down to third. Comfortable catch, and Dawid Malan has to depart for 5 of 8 balls faced. Taskin gets his wicket. Hassan with the catch. England 16 for 1.
Well, we've seen Dawid Malan play some big shots recently early on. After years of not doing it, I'm not sure why he's suddenly doing it. Just want to see that replay again, Tudes. I had a feeling that as that ball hit the surface, what you were talking about, that double pace, it could be that it's mixed pace, but it does look like it's going slightly more vertical when it bounces, which is why maybe the keeper keeps taking the ball above his shoulder. But from side on, when we saw that angle, it looked like a puff of dust came up, and that did go a little bit higher. If that's the case, that's a horrendous shot to play, especially as he just played one in the previous over and got the same kind of edge.
And England ringing the changes, obviously, with a left-hander departing. Moeen Ali strides to the wicket at number 3 for England, striking at a 145 again. Very good strike rate, a lot of experience. England need him to shine here today.
Did you see that? You could see it even from the wide shot there. It looked like a little bit of dust just popped up on that last one, and that's part of the reason that Dawid Malan got the edge. But yeah, Moeen Ali, I like him up the order. I like him up the order almost better than I like him anywhere else. If he's going to bat, I almost think 3 is his ideal position in T20 cricket. And he's facing Taskin Ahmed, who bowls a full straight one. It's pushed to Afif at cover point. There's no run there. Taskin Ahmed, I think that's the second time today we've gone in and we've seen him go with a Yorker early on to a batter. So obviously that's a tactic of his.
I mean, it's something I spoke about during the ODI when I had a conversation with the great Darren Goff, saying, you know, if you're a great exponent of it, a new batter does not want a full Yorker on the stumps straight away. It's so important. Good to see Taskin bowling it 88 mile an hour, that one.
Didn't swing as much as some of his other deliveries. I think he was trying to bowl the away swinger to Moeen Ali there. This one's outside of its edge, and Shanto with the athletic miss as that one flies over him. If he'd been at first slip, he probably takes that easily to his left hand. Instead of second slip, let's just have a look. Oh no, I take that back. It's right above his head, in fact. Oh, but athletically jumps up with a one-hand catch. So we've seen a lot of Ross Taylor take when he was a younger man, but this one just goes over the top. And for 4, I think you need Freddie Flintoff in slip for that.
Him or Tom Moody.
Tom Moody, another one, yep. Terry Alderman. Someone slightly taller. Graham Smith, what? Sean Pollock? We've had a couple of tall slippers, haven't we? I'm not sure how tall Shanto is, but he's subbed all those men. Taskin in again, full outside off stump. Inside part of the bat, Moeen Ali tries to drive this, can't get it past mid-off. There's no run, another good delivery. Taskin's got a full head of steam behind him at the moment, absolutely dripping with sweat. It looks hot there. 140 kilometres an hour, that last one.
Yeah, he's bowling with good pace, broad in the shoulders, thick in the chest, giving absolutely everything for his team here, for his captain, Shakib Al Hasan. Just ringing the changes in the field, telling everyone to be on their toes.
I love you, Papa. Which I'm assuming it's Taskin Ahmed's son and not just a random kid in the crowd. Taskin comes in again, is pushed to point, and they're going to go for a single. Almost a run out. I don't think Moeen Ali wanted this. Phil Salt's turning around as if to say, there was always a run there. What were you doing? 21 for 1 at the end of the third over. Slight miscommunication between not a miscommunication. Phil Salt called the run, and Moeen Ali didn't want it. Mahedi Hassan was at point and threw at the bowler's end, but Moeen Ali still got in safely, which tells you there was always a run there, but the misfield is probably what confused them. Here on Talk Sport 2 with Jared Kimber and Alex Tudor.
Yeah, just a little bit of indecision there. I think a direct hit would have been close. As you said, Phil Salt at the end of it, just sort of looking back at him saying, partner, what's going on? But as you said, it just looks a little bit frantic at the moment. From England, I think Bangladesh have bowled extremely well. Been a little unlucky. They got the important wicket of Milan. England ringing the change with a batting order. I think Butler was down to come in at 3, but with the left-hander going, Moeen strolls to the wicket. And as you said, we do like to see Moeen batting higher. So elegant, makes it look so easy. David Gower-esque.
Hair in a different spot than David Gower, of course. But both famous for hair, as this one is pushed into point. The no run. Mustafiza, length ball outside of stump. Remember that we're bringing you even more international cricket tomorrow morning here on TalkSport 2 with ball-by-ball commentary of the day 5 of the 4th test between India and Australia. Coverage gets underway at 3:30 in the morning. Score is 480 for 5, so India now... They're a little... Oh, it's level. I was trying to work out what the difference was. 480 take away 480. The score's a level in that game. Mustafiza outside off stump. Good leg punch beautifully by Moeen Ali, but straight to point again. There's no run. The score's a level in that one at the moment. I think it might have been Kohli a couple of moments ago. Just flicked Todd Murphy not far away from, I think it was Cameron Green trying to take a catch there. So this stage, India is the only team who can realistically win that game. It'd take a lot for Australia to come back from this position, but India, chance of winning it, and also a draw helps them for the World Test Championship final as well. SEN coverage on TalkSport 2 of that one. Mustafiza comes in again, and this is the slower one, and it's pushed in the air at a catchable height, but unfortunately nowhere near Mustafiza, who athletically moves across to the leg side, but can't get that. I think that might have been it was just a cutter, I think, but it hit the splice of Moeen Ali's bat. I'm not sure he read that perfectly, Judes.
Yeah, as you said, it's just a little bit of indecision with the bounce of the wicket. Not quite sure today. As I said, it's hitting the stickers. They're not allowing any width to this English pair at the moment. It's good bowling.
3 dot balls. Still 21 for 1. Mustafiza does that familiar lean forward as he comes in to bowl. On the pads of Moeen Ali, tries to flick it away. If they go to the bowler's end, Moeen Ali's in trouble here. Luckily for Moeen Ali, he ended up running between the throw and the bowler, but not because he was trying to get in the way, but because Lytton Das threw that about 4 meters too wide. Just have a look at Lytton Das, see if the ball just got stuck in his glove. Yeah, he didn't take his glove off, and the ball and the glove went flying. I'm not even sure which end he was throwing for in here, if we're being honest, because I think he was going to the bowler's end, but it accidentally almost ran out Phil Salt at the non-striker's end. So a little bit of confusion. Another extra, we're up to 6 extras so far. Phil Salt is on 6, Moeen Ali's on 5, extras are 6. We've got a slip in place and then 2 fielders behind point on the offside for Phil Salt in the ring, and then a deep cover out. Slight variation on what we were talking about before. Mustafiza goes after all that offside field. He bowls this 2 foot outside leg stump on a length, and it's just hoiked around the corner. Beautiful strike, and it's 6.
Yeah, all done with effortlessly by Phil Salt. just a pick-up shot, really. See that a lot, no fine leg. So it's pick-up shot, 66 metres in distance. Good shot. Needed that, I felt. Phil Salt was a little bit frenetic. Hopefully that will settle him down and he can get to work.
He's 12 off 7 now with that drop kick. 28 for 1. 1 ball to go in the 4th over. England have got 3 4s and 1 6 so far. He's done this again, but this time every bit as frantic as he was earlier in his innings. He almost squared himself up. I think that was a little bit straighter on a length, and I think also it was the cutter perhaps, and it was moving away or maybe swinging away, and he's tried to flick this, got a leading edge out towards deep backward square. They just take the 1 run, 29 for 1 at the end of that. Remember, you can also hear some of the live Gallagher Premiership action as Gloucester host the Leicester Tigers. They'll be across with the team following this game here on TalkSport. And remember that you can get the app and you can go between TalkSport and TalkSport 2. Just flick across like a sports radio Tinder. Salt, 13 from 8. Milan was dismissed for 5 from 8. And Moeen Ali is on 5 from 8 as well. Looks like at the moment England are going to match the left-hand, right-hand combination as much as possible. We've got a bowling change. No, it's still Tuscan Ahmed. He's gone for 1 for 11 off his 2 so far. Certainly been the pick of the bowlers. Well, the pick of the 2 bowlers. Comes in again. Presenting the ball as he runs in. It's a good length ball on off stump. Turn to the leg side. There's a gap there. Phil Salt goes through for a single. Looks like the swing is gone.
I've got a lot of time for that, JK, honestly. As a bowler, fast bowler, especially in one-day cricket, do not give the batters any room. Just tail him back into the right-hander, hitting the top of the bells, hitting the stickers. That's what Alex Stewart on a regular occurrence used to say for me to do. More often than not, I tried to do it. Didn't always come off. But that's great to see. Sometimes we just, as bowlers, we go away from that. If it's not swinging, just go back to that. Can you hit a good line and length consistently? He's bowling at good pace as well. Quickest ball so far, 141.5 Ks.
Yeah, it's hot. Lots of sweat coming down Tuscan Ahmed as he comes in again. Again, back of a length. Top of off stump. Moeen Ali tries to force this away. Can't get it past the bowler. And there is no run. It looks like a good length for this wicket.
Yeah, that's right. And, you've got to be able to adapt. You've got to be able to adapt quickly. Assess the situations. Sometimes, as bowlers, we try and do too much. Just do that. Back of a length. Mean it. Okay, you got 24 deliveries. Can you do that more often than not? For me, that's a skill in itself.
When you look at the crowd there, there's one section of the crowd where there's 3 different people with tigers on their heads. Good percentage of tigers on their heads there. This ball is back of the length on off stump, but it's pushed out in the offside. They steal a single. Again, you can hear from the sound of the ball onto the bat there. It's hitting right up on the splice. That's probably 3 balls in a row he's hit the splice. And this time Moeen Ali was awake enough to a single. Moeen Ali, not always the world's most awake man to singles, if we're being honest. He's not a bad runner, but he doesn't always think of runs.
No. I mean, when you hit the boundary count that he normally does, he's not. But again, just going back to the bowling, I'm getting excited. Taskin, 88 miles an hour, not giving the batters any room whatsoever. I don't get tired of seeing that at all. On this wicket, that is all you need to do. Obviously, you have to be able to adapt, but let the batter make a different play. Don't give them easy hitting and easy boundary options. Make them have to do something different, as David Milan tried to do earlier, and it came to his downfall.
So run rate just under 7 and over. They've been propped up by a couple of extras, of course. Some leg buys and an early, unfortunate wide call if you're a Bangladesh fan. He comes down the wicket, Phil Salt. He forces this on the offside. I'm not sure exactly where he wanted to hit it as he came down, but because it was a good length, he just sort of pushed it through the offside and somehow got it past extra cover and mid-off, and it's gone for 4.
Yeah, okay, it's a good cricket shot. All right, the batter is allowed to do that. It's a good ball. Phil Salt just advanced down the wicket, giving himself a little bit of room, hitting it on the up, sort of on the right-hand side of where extra cover would be, to his right hand. Good cricket shot. Batters are allowed to do that.
As India go into the lead in that test match in Ahmedabad, Ball started occasionally bouncing in odd directions, which is exactly what Australia are looking for as India get to the lead. Could be a fun last day. Remember, that's here. Thanks to our friends at SEN. Broadcasting that on TalkSport 2. Slip is out. Gone back to short third. It's Taskin. Comes in again. It's full and straight he goes for that Yorker. He's enjoyed that today. Sadly for him, he just hasn't got it online. He's been given a wide here. But it was fast and it surprised Phil Salt. He wasn't expecting that.
That was sharp. That was just over 90 mile an hour. Nearly put him on his bum. It was that quick. Just straight in line. That's the margins as a bowler, the poor bowler.
He's bowled 3 good Yorkers. I reckon he's had 1 online. If he had the other 2 online, he would have picked up a wicket from one of them. Phil Salt, he was ready for a lot of things. He was not expecting that ball at his toes there. Peak Zahir Khan surprise Yorker there. 36 for 1 here on TalkSport 2. Taskin Ahmed coming in. Sweat all over his face. Another good Yorker. Phil Salt was waiting for that one though. Dug it out. That was straighter. He had to dig that one out. Goes to mid-on. There's no run. Good delivery, but well played by Phil Salt.
Yeah, back-to-back Yorkers from Taskin. He's really given his all, steaming in for his team. Seam bolt upright. Phil Salt, oh, he's got metal toe caps on. Aiming for them toes. Fantastic bowling from Taskin. Not much you can do as a batter when the ball's there.
Last ball of the 5th over here. Salt 18 from 11. He's batting with Moeen Ali, who's 6 from 10. Oh, and this is a leading edge off a length. Phil Salt. Ridoy has just thrown the ball at his bowler's head, trying to get it to the wicketkeeper then. There was a chance of a run out for a moment, I suppose. Absolutely bizarre cricket, Ridoy, very young. He was smiling at the end of it, laughing. Not sure if Taskin Ahmed was after his 3 overs drenched in sweat. Talking about drenched in sweat, so's Ali Studer. He's going to have a spell. He's going to be replaced by Abhishek Janjanwala, and I'm going to be replaced by Andrew McKenna.
Thank you, Jared. Well, lively stuff. 37 for 1 after 5. Yeah, mentioning drenched in sweat, 34 degrees Dakar today, so it is hard work, Ali.
Not really. I mean, yeah, with those conditions, I'll promise you, a lot of players are quite relieved that it's 34 degrees. It could get up to 40, 42 degrees, and that's where it gets really...
It's purely the... Yeah, imagine what it could have been.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, Nassim Ahmed, first bowling change. He is going to be into the attack. He actually took the first over of the match on Tuesday with his spin. Did I say Tuesday? I meant Thursday. Got a 1 for 31 from his 4 overs. He did actually bowl them out, as we mentioned. He had to bowl them out because Bangladesh only included 5 bowlers, and England are just actually having a quick impromptu drinks break, it would appear. Phil Salt's got his helmet off at the moment, just getting toweled down and grabbing a drink. So Nassim Ahmed's slow left arm so far, 33 wickets, just a smidge over 20. Best of 4 for 10, the economy rate 7.1. Those are his overall numbers. By the way, only the 3rd time Moeen Ali has batted number 3 in a T20 in his last 32 innings. That goes back to January of 2021. So obviously, if everyone's available, it's not as necessary. But actually, today it looks the perfect fit, Abby.
It does, and also I think they want to keep the left-hand right-hand combination going. They don't want 2 right-handers or 2 left-handers at the same time. That what makes bowling very easy, and I'm sure Shakib has his own plans against each individual. But again, when you're bowling to different, come back to that.
Nassim is in, left arm around, Salt off the back foot, hits to a foot short cover, no run.
Yeah, when you've got a right and left hand combination, it's very difficult for the bowlers to try and set their line and change their line in length every delivery, and that's how you can put a lot of pressure on the bowling unit as a batting team.
Nassim around the wicket, goes in, hit hard off of the back foot. Oh, misfield at cover, and it's going to bounce all the way through and bobble through for 4. Hammered into the cover region by Phil Salt. The fielder going down to his right got hands on it, but all succeeded doing, it's just taking some pace off. That really should have been stopped. As it is, it goes away for 4.
They're not the best of delivery, but still, if you have a fielder there protecting, you've got to try and stop that.
Salt goes to 23. England 41 for 1. He's coming down the pitch to meet this on the half volley. Talakdar is at mid-on, tumbling away to his right-hand side, stops it. So a single taken, 42 for 1.
I was a bit surprised when the fast bowlers bowled so very well in the first 5 overs, both Taskin and Mustafizur. And the good thing about both of them was they didn't try anything too much. They knew that the hard length is difficult to get under. The ball is not coming onto the bat so nicely, and they kept bowling that length. Really, really good bowling.
Left arm over to the left-handed Moeen Ali, whips this one over to the leg side to mid-wicket. Mahedi's sprinting after this like his life depends on it. Batsmen have already decided it's only one, and that is all it is.
Yeah, great commitment. And you can see how badly they want to win this game, how badly they want to win the series. Means a lot to Bangladesh. They've lost the one-day series. They want to make sure they don't lose both series here, the one-day and the T20. And there's a lot of desperation, which is always good to see. And it all comes down to who's more hungry to win a game of cricket at the end of the day. But so far, Bangladesh does look very, very hungry to win this game.
2 balls left of the first power play. Nassim is in, round the wicket, drifts onto the leg stump, turned round the corner by Salt through mid-wicket. Again, just going to be the single, with the fielder coming off of the mid-wicket boundary. So 44 for 1. And 1 ball left of the power play. England satisfied, I would imagine, from where they are at the moment. They put on 51 in the first 6 on Thursday. They might get close to that because Moeen Ali's down on one knee and swinging over deep backward square, and that's a 6. England's 50 will come up with the final ball of the power play. England 50 for 1 here on TalkSport 2.
A wonderful shot. Again, going with the spin, just sweeping it over the square leg region, timing it beautifully, pick the length, pick the line very quickly, Moeen Ali. And that's why I was saying that it's so difficult for a bowler to keep changing his line and length against a left and right hand combination. Makes it very, very difficult. But a very good start for England. When you win the toss or lose the toss, if you always want to get to that 50 mark in the first 6 overs without losing more than 1 or 2 wickets.
Very good morning to you if you are just joining us. We've been underway for half an hour. England put into bat as Josh Buttler lost the toss again. England making 1 change. Mark Wood left out, Rayan Ahmed into the side, and they're 50 for 1. David Malan promoted to open, made 5 from 8 balls. He was caught on the boundary, 16 for 1. Moeen Ali joining Phil Salt, and Shakib Al Hassan, the Bangladesh skipper, is bringing himself into the attack. He's going to bowl round the wicket. That gripped in the surface. Salt was playing that off the back foot, and it definitely straightened away from him.
You just got to be a bit careful playing on that back foot where he moves outside the leg stump, gives himself a bit of room with the straight delivery. You can often get him leg before or bowled.
Shakib gives that one some air, takes Salt on the pad, rolls out on the leg side. Lytton Das, the wicketkeeper, comes out, gathers that. 2 balls sent down, no runs so far.
He's itching to go here, Phil Salt. You can sense that he's getting a bit impatient. He wants to play those big shots. Not easy on the surface.
25 from 18 so far. Backs away. Hammers it back to Shakib. Caught and bowled. Again, off of the... Takes a catch that's probably knee height in the end, and England lose their second. Caught and bowled, Shakib Al Hassan, Phil Salt.
Yeah, the ball just gripping ever so slightly, but again that poor technique of his, going outside the leg stump to play on the back foot rather than going back and across and getting in line with the ball. Again getting away from the ball and hence hitting it straight back to the bowler. Very good catch from Shakib. England loses their second wicket. In comes the captain, Josh Buttler, the man in form. He's been batting beautifully in the series so far, but with that wicket, that's where it gets difficult in the middle period for England. Same thing happened in the previous match as well. When the spinners started operating, they found it very, very difficult to score runs.
Well, these two have batted together. I was about to say I don't know how many times, but I'm fairly sure I'll know fairly shortly, because Gary, our stats man, is absolutely onto all of these sort of things. But these two have been front and centre of part of England's white ball cricket for the last few years, really, and they complement each other very, very well. And Josh Butler, the England skipper, strides to the wicket with the score 50 for 2. He's going to take guard. You might have just heard the umpire saying centre. So Butler, I'm sure he's going to make 2 or 3 different marks on the ground just to get himself sorted. Shakib will stay around the wicket. Butler's kicking up all sorts of soil down at the striker's end. Wanders off to square leg and now settles back in for his first ball. Shakib around the wicket to him, little bit of air, outside half of Butler's bat, straight to Talukdar at point, no run.
Yeah, he's such a class player. He's such a good player of spin as well. His footwork is just brilliant. It goes forward, goes back very quickly.
Squats down deep in the crease, then comes forward and plays to long off, and he's underway with a single. So England 51 for 2, 1 ball left of the 7th over. Butler's faced 2 balls, has a single. Moeen Ali has 13 from 12.
All those good players of spin, we see their footwork is always better than other players. The way they use the depth of the crease, the way they come lunging forward and get close to the pitch of the ball. And that's the key, really. Playing good spin, and Butler does it so very well. Moeen Ali, again, a very good player.
Shakib Al Hassan in for the final ball of the over. That one horizontal Mali a little bit. Plays it to mid-wicket. There is a man inside the circle there, so no run to complete the 7th over. 51 for 2. It means England are basically going at 7.3 and over at the moment in this T20 international here on TalkSport 2. Just to give you a quick update, by the way, on the test match, India have got to 500. They're now 502 for 5. But let's concentrate on T20 matters. By the way, the final game of this series, Tuesday morning. So toss at 8:30, first ball at 9. From an England point of view, they will be hoping it is a decider.
Yeah, they'll hope for that, but at the moment, this Bangladesh team again doing really well. Previous over, Shakib just giving 1 run, picking up 1 wicket of Phil Salt as well. So it's not going to be easy in the middle period. They have to bat really, really well, England here.
Hassan Mahmood, the 3rd seamer, is going to come into the attack, and Josh Butler's coming across his stumps, flicking into the onside. They take 1. Now, bowler was appealing for an LBW. Ball almost carried out to the fielder at mid-wicket, but it doesn't. It hits the deck, and a single is taken. 52 for 2.
Yeah, bowled really well in the previous match. Hassan bowled 4 overs, just 26 runs, and picked up 2 important wickets as well. Was inside edge onto the pad, nearly carried to the short mid-wicket fielder. Got lovely pass, Josh Butler.
Yes, absolutely. Moeen Ali waits for Hassan, inside half of the bat again. This is out to mid-wicket, no run. Staying right arm over to the left-handed Moeen Ali.
And Tunes was mentioning that how smart the fast bowlers have been in this game. You know, they realize that they don't need to try too many things in this pitch, just need to come and bowl that back of the length, that hard length, test match length. And we have seen invariable bounce. Some ball has kept low, some ball has bounced a bit higher and hit the sticker. Been very difficult.
Hassan is in, pushing into the offside is Moeen Ali. That sounded much better off the middle of the bat. So straight out to the cover sweeper, and a single taken. 53 for 2.
Yeah, it's been difficult for the batters against the fast bowlers. They've been exceptional, and they've got such good fast bowlers now, Bangladesh. Like they've got a lot to look forward to. Some really good young talent coming up the ranks, like Hassan. He's been exceptional in the previous match. Was bowling under pressure at the death, kept his calm, kept his coolness, and bowled really, really well.
Josh Butler waits for Hassan, digs this one in short. Butler pulls out to mid-wicket. Can the sweeper get round? Yes, he can. So it is just a couple. Good hustle from the England batters there to get back for a couple, as Shamim Hussain does the fielding. He's doing some 12th man duties. I didn't see who sneaked off. He was the man who was left out of the side today by Bangladesh. Their one change. As Mahedi came in, Josh Butler on this occasion goes down, plays the ramp shot, misses, and Lytton Das because of the ramp shot, is moving to his left, actually ended up having to dive back to his right-hand side to take the ball directly behind the stumps. Oh, wicket-keeping's a ridiculous job at the best of times, but with these shots...
Yeah, I just felt the ball had a little dip as well at the very end, and that's why he got a bit tricked there. But again, a good delivery, a bit extra bounce for the bowler. Hence, Butler couldn't get bat and ball.
Full straight and out! Butler plays over the top of this one from Hassan. And England are 3 down after 8 overs. Butler clean bowled, 4 from 6. England 55 for 3.
Oh, this is just exceptional. Absolutely exceptional delivery. A perfect Yorker. And what an execution as well. Butler didn't expect it. He wasn't expecting a Yorker here from the young bowler. And he surprised him. And boy, he surprised him really well. 3rd wicket for Bangladesh. England loses their captain, the informed captain. George Butler out for 4 of 6 deliveries. And England in all sorts of trouble here.
What absolute beauty. Some days you just have to hold your hands up and say, too good. That one was too good for the England captain. So Ben Duckett walks out. Duckett, 2013, batting at number 4. Number 5 today. Work to do for England. By the way, if you're... I know a few people do this. They have the TV on but turn the sound down and listen to us, or indeed if you're looking on social media, you've seen some images of Phil Salt wondering why he was batting with a black armband on. There was a family friend has passed away, so just paying tribute there. So it's not a team thing, it's just purely a Phil Salt family thing, that one. So he made some runs, but be disappointed he could only make 25 on this occasion. Well, England have got a proper rebuilding job to do here, haven't they?
Yeah, just with that delivery. Josh Butler, we know his head falls on the offside a little bit. He still manages everything brilliantly. But that execution was just exceptional from Hassan. Perfect area to go to Josh Butler and got him in surprise, really. And that brings in Mehendy surprise, an off-spinner against 2 left-handers. We didn't think about that.
Yeah, Mehendy straight around the wicket to Moeen Ali. Moeen Ali punching to the cover sweeper. Talakdar does the fielding single taken, 56 for 3. Moeen 15 from 16, and Duckett now about to face his first walk. Now we know he likes a sweep, both normal and reverse. Does Mehendy allow him to, but stack the field, or does he bowl in a place that maybe he doesn't want to hit? Well, there's a deep backward square, a deep mid-wicket both on the leg side, and there's a point sweeper on the offside. Mehendy goes in, brings Duckett forward. Mehendy in his follow-through will pick up about 10 metres away on the onside.
He was a very good length, Mehendy, and what I like about him is that he gets a bit of turn, and sometimes with the arm he has that delivery which just goes with the arm, often a very dangerous delivery for the left-handers.
Around the wicket he goes, gives it some air, forward defensive from Ben Duckett. Run!
And that's a very, very good delivery again. Bowling really well. All the spinners have been brilliant in the previous overs. Shakib bowling exceptionally well, and here Mehendy doing the job again.
And he goes forward, beaten Duckett. All ends up taken by Lytton Das. That's a ripper in any form of cricket. I mean, T20, when you're trying to get on with it, that is pitched just outside of off stump and straightens, so it goes 8 or 10 centimetres past the off stump. This one's slightly shorter. Duckett able to free his hands, hits to point. Duckett will be underway with a single, 57 for 3, but talk me through the previous one.
Well, that was a terrific delivery. We saw a puff of dust as well, so it's not an easy surface to bat on. But yeah, any form of cricket, as a batter you're struggling against that delivery. He's been brilliant, even in the one day as he bowled really, really well, Mehendy. And just carrying on his form, getting an opportunity to play in today's match, wasn't playing the previous game.
Abhishek Junjunwala with myself, Andrew McKenna, as we talk you through this England innings. Moeen Ali gets down on one knee, swoops, but straight to the man out on the mid-wicket boundary. And Moeen Ali, the set man, has gone for 15. And all of a sudden, England are 57 for 4, and we're in the 9th over of this T20 international.
The option was right, execution wasn't. He wanted to hit it between the square leg and mid-wicket fielder by getting straight to the man in deep mid-wicket. Simple catch, but again, very well bowled by Mehdi. Just tossing the ball up a little bit and inviting him to play a big shot and falling into the trap. Moeen Ali out for 15 of 17 deliveries. England really struggling in the second T20 here. 57 with the loss of 4 wickets after 9 overs. So they need somebody to come and steady the ship and get a partnership. Sam Curran, who's coming in at number 6, he will be under a lot of pressure. He hasn't done a lot with the bat in this series, so it's a great opportunity, but at the same time there's a lot of pressure because he needs to carry on scoring the runs at a decent pace and can't afford to lose another wicket here.
6.3 is the scoring rate for England at the moment. So if they're well, look, obviously if it's 6 and over, that's 120, goes without saying. We know that the average first innings on this ground in T20 internationals is 145. We've got to find a way of chipping away, get those 1s and 2s, but I mean it's kind of like basic old school cricket, isn't it? 1s and 2s and put the bad ball away at the moment.
Absolutely, and they desperately need to do that. They need a partnership, Ben Duckett and Sam Curran, and they are both coming under a lot of pressure here. They couldn't get going in the previous match either, and with this sort of a bowling, the way Bangladesh is bowling at the moment, it's not going to be easy out there for both these players.
3 for 7 in 16 balls England have lost. Not even halfway yet. 9 overs gone here on TalkSport 2. Well, no surprise, Hassan Mahmood is going to continue with his right arm seam. Duckett on strike. He gets a full toss as the bowler goes in and bowls right arm over, and Duckett hits it back dead straight, but can't beat the mid-on fielder, and there is no run.
A full toss is in these situations is a surprise delivery really, because as a batter you're not expecting it and suddenly it comes, and because you're not looking to hit every delivery, you get caught up with that delivery sometimes. Here they're on a rebuild phase, both these players, they need a partnership.
Hassan is on the way. He's given Duckett a bit of width there, even though it was full, and Duckett able to wristily play it out to Shamim on the cover sweeper, and there is no run. Moeen's shot, I mean, Shamim didn't have to move that far. I think it was a couple of steps to his left only. It was one of those that straight away they got the field set right. As you say, the shot was right, it was just the execution, unfortunately, just picked the man.
Yeah, just didn't get it into the gap. It was the right option, he timed it perfectly as well on that occasion, Moeen Ali. Yeah, but sometimes when you time it too well, that's the price you pay. But I
used to have that problem all the time. I just timed it too well straight to the fielder.
We have timed it really well. Between our stints, we've managed to take 3 wickets as well.
We've been absolutely on fire at the moment. Slightly shorter and wider from Hassan. Oh, and that's gone all the way for 4 from Sam Curran through points. Timed that beautifully. Almost sort of it has quite literally quietened the crowd. Just a bit of width, gets it past Mehdi at points and away for 4.
Yeah, didn't try and overhit, just timed it. Got the placement right on that occasion, and that's exactly what these two players need to do at the moment. Just rotate the strike, pick up those 1s, run hard, try and make the 1s into 2s, and whenever there's an opportunity, try and get a boundary. They have to get to 140, 145 here to put any pressure on Bangladesh.
Hassan goes in. That's a lovely, lovely Yorker. Slightly slower to get it up there in full. And Curran's digging it in off of his toes. No run once again. 9.4 overs gone. 62 for 4.
It feels like a bit old school. We don't really see a lot of Yorkers in modern day cricket, but suddenly we see Bangladesh bowling a lot of them, and the execution has been pretty good. They managed to get the biggest wicket with that outstanding Yorker of Hassan, Jos Buttler, in the previous over.
Sam Curran waits as Hassan goes in, and again he's going full in towards the crease line. Push to mid-off. No run on this occasion. I wonder if any of them have played at Yorkshire with Goffey. I wonder if that's the reason for it. As Tude said earlier, a man who loves a Yorker, our Goffey. There's Yorkshire side are in Cape Town at the moment doing their pre-season. Saw Durham are in Zimbabwe doing theirs. Cricket teams all over the world at the moment.
I mean, there's no better delivery than a Yorker if you can execute it well in any form of cricket, especially in the shorter format.
Hassan goes in, slightly shorter of a length on this occasion, deliberately so. Sam Curran rides the bounce, just taps it on the head down to third, where Taskin Ahmed will do the fielding. So we're at the halfway stage. England were 50 for 1 after 6 overs as they completed the power play. At the halfway stage, 4 overs later, they're 63 for 4. I think it's fair to say that the home side have the better of those few overs. Abhishek Junjunwala and myself will move out of the way as Alex Tudor and Jared Kimber pick up the ball back.
Thanks, Macca. Yeah, there's a break in play here as the fruit platter has been brought out. The now official fruit platter of this series. I've seen more fruit platters in this series than I've seen almost anywhere else ever. But it's a short drinks break. I don't think this is tactical or anything else. I think this is because it's really hot. What fruit would you like me to bring out to you, Tudes, on a 34-degree day in Mirpur?
I mean, I'm a pineapple, watermelon. I mean, my son, he's an absolute fruit beast. Literally every 2 days, me and the wife are having to go to the store to get more fruit. Bananas, he has it in his Weetabix and all sorts. Loves it.
Didn't see. Look, we've seen. We didn't get a close-up of it today, but it looked like there was some watermelon out there on the previous days, and maybe some pineapple as well. Did you see the injury to Keshav Maharaj?
No.
So Keshav Maharaj, the South African spinner, was playing in the Test match against the West Indies. He struck Kyle Mayers on the pad. It was given not out. They referred it. Went up to the screen, and obviously then they showed that it should have been out LBW. He celebrated the wicket and tore his Achilles tendon.
Hadn't he just signed for a county here? It was Middlesex, I think Middlesex.
He certainly signed for someone here in Middlesex. Man.
It's never nice to see anyone get injured at best of times, and obviously that is a lengthy layout.
Well, it's his back foot when you bowl. So with a finger spinner, I think it'd be worth if you did your Achilles on your front foot, because that's the one that you pivot around. And especially he's not as bad as some other finger spinners, but some have their feet up in the air, and that would really do it. But it was his back foot. I had a look. Liam Dawson and JP Duminy both had the same injury in their front foot. It took them between 6 and 8 months to come back. So South Africa have a World Cup in 7 months, and their finger spinner may not be going. But if you can see the footage, it's worth having a look at just how innocuous it is. It's literally, he goes to celebrate the wicket. And it's hilarious because everyone else, he's obviously seen something before the rest of them have. So he celebrates, and as he goes up to celebrate, he just collapses, and the rest start celebrating around him thinking he's fallen over, not knowing that he obviously knows what is going on. It's a tragic injury. Very talented player. Talking about talented finger spinners, Mahedi Hassan round the wicket to Sam Curran. Over pitches this and is driven to long on, and they'll just take one. He's got to slip in place when he's bowling to Sam Curran.
Been very impressed with Bangladesh so far in his first 10 overs. They've been very efficient, bowled to their plans. Their bowlers have got a lot of Yorkers in today, bowled with good speed, good hostility. And England just coming up a little short at the moment. Need Duckett and Sam Curran to bat for a good period here, at least 4 or 5 overs here.
Duckett is facing Mahedi Hassan reverse. And he gets the bottom part of the bat and squeezes out. There's actually a player out there for that shot anyway. And it trickles out to backward point. Now think about an overthrow here from this bit of schoolboy cricket as there's a bad throw comes into Lytton Das, and there's no one backing him up at all. Whoever was at square leg was completely asleep. The bowler had to run around. But luckily there wasn't a run there. England lost their wickets on 16, 50, 55 and 57. They're 65 for 4 here into the 11th over. Mahedi Hassan comes in. It's a good ball. And Sam Curran goes back to the length ball, pushes it in the air past the bowler. And it goes down along on to Shanto, who just keeps it down to 1. Shanto seems to be everywhere they want him to be. He's a slip, very good athlete, he moves quite well. We talked about this the other day. It's the first time I've really watched Bangladesh and be like, there's a lot of really good athletes on the field. Yeah. Eberdot's not even playing this game, the volleyballer. Mahedi Hassan to Ben Duckett, outside off stump. He smacks that a length straight to point. It's between the backward point, who's there for the reverse sweep, and the cover point. But they think about 2, but there was only ever 1 there, partly because he timed it so well. Mahedi's got 1 for 6 from into his second over here. listening to TalkSport from Amirpur for this T20. You can listen to us on DAB Digital Radio, online at talksport.com via your smart speaker. Defended on the offside from a length outside of stump, spitting away. Sam Curran to point, there's no run. Or the TalkSport app. Swipe left for TalkSport 2. Swipe left for Alex Tudor. You can also get in touch with us at cricket_TS and at TalkSport 2. Mahidi Hassan, this is a beautiful ball. Pitches on middle, straightens. And all Sam Curran can do is defend this back to... Well, the bowler ran around, but it was kind of mid-wicket who came in. The end of that over. Beautiful over by Mahidi Hassan. 67 for 4 after 11 on TalkSport 2. Jared Kimber and Alex Tudor. Mahidi Hassan wasn't in the last game. They've got a lot of left-handers. My first thought in the last game was, why would you not play him against England of all teams?
Especially with the amount of left-handers they've got in, JK, you know. So good decision today. They've been very proactive. I've liked their plans. The bowlers have bowled to it. I mean, captains and coaches can have as many plans as they want. The bowlers can sometimes mess that up, but they've been on the money. Been very impressed with the way that they've come out. They've been on it. There's obviously a big series for them to try and win. If they win this, obviously they win the series. So they're so up for this. The crowd are building. They're up for that. And the man you said, JK, who's been doing absolutely everything, he's coming on for a bowl.
Najmal Hassan Shanto from the Mr. White powder detergent end. Off spin. It's a full toss. It's a shocker. An absolute club cricket delivery. Ben Duckett doesn't even know what to do with it. He sort of accidentally mullered it out to mid-on for 4. You're not going to get many friendlier deliveries out on your green on a Sunday afternoon.
You've been hammering school cricket, club cricket. Listen, you're doing them a disservice. That is back of the yard to your brother cricket. That's what that is. That was a filthy delivery.
You haven't seen me bowl enough then, Shoots. I've bowled a few of those. This is outside off stump. Oh, now we're going to fumble as well. So half volley outside off stump. And it was punched into the covers. And I'm not sure who that is. That's probably where Shanto would have been fielding. But unfortunately, the cover fielder has misfielded that. And they get 1. They brought Shanto on because he's another off spinner. Still didn't see who that was out at cover who fumbled that, but it should have been taken. But they brought him on from the white detergent powder end because Shanto is spinning the ball away from the 2 left-handers. We've got 2 fielders in the ring behind point on the offside, as this is overpitched on middle and leg. Punch down to mid-on. They take 1. I think Shanto bowled in one of the ODIs.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. But it's all about the matchups now, isn't it, JK? It's all about the matchups. Left-handers on. Let's get a off spinner on, taking the ball away from him.
It's interesting because the last game it didn't seem to. I don't think did they bowl any off spin in the last game. Suddenly it's all about off spin here. So big change. Anyway, Shanto comes in again outside off stump, pushed into the covers, and will go out to the sweeper, and they just take on. So they got. When Duckett's fielding, when Duckett's batting, they got 3 fielders out on the offside boundary because they've got someone out for the reverse sweep, someone in the covers, and at long off. And then when Sam Curran comes on, he's obviously more leg side dependent, and they put the 3 fielders out on the leg side, deep mid wicket, deep backward square, and a long off. So he goes back in his crease. This Curran hits it straight to short mid wicket. There's some yelling. The only person who didn't seem to be any interested in that as a run from a run-up perspective was the mid-wicket, who couldn't have moved any slower. They get an easy single there. Duckett is on. He's facing. He's 10 from 11. Curran's on 9 from 10. Overpitched on leg stump, chipped out to deep mid-wicket, and they will just take a 1. So Shanto, he's got 9 runs off that over. Outside of the full toss that I could have bowled, I would say the rest of the over he went okay.
Yeah, and that's what happens. Obviously, you know, he's gone for 9, and as Macca said while he was on commentary, it's very important that England take the 1s and 2s, the boundaries that are on offer. That's what they did in that last over. As I said, I think it's vitally important that these 2 at least bat for another 3 overs, and then that allows your Wokes, Jordan, Rayan Ahmed, who also opens the batting, I think, in T10 cricket. He certainly did, I think, in Dubai in a couple of the games in Abu Dhabi. So, you know, the young man can bat. So they've got depth, but they don't want to see those guys in too soon.
Yeah, in all fairness to Chris Jordan, I don't think he's going to be batting ahead of Rayan Ahmed for too much longer. Although his batting has really improved over the last couple of years, Chris Jordan, after never really being a great T20 hitter. It's become one. Taskin Ahmed for his final over. Off cutter. Pitched on leg stump. Straightens a little bit and is just almost pushed to cover. Shakib comes in and there is no run. I think if they lost wickets earlier, probably Rayan Ahmed probably has a chance of coming in because he's more of a batter, whereas Wokes and Jordan might come in at the end if it's more of a hitting job.
Yeah, agreed. And again, it's that flexibility that England do have in their lineup. Taskin Ahmed there, again, slower ball, cutter, but again, not allowing the batters any width whatsoever on a good length.
Full. Top of off stump. Driven, well timed, out to Rooney at deep cover, and they just take one. I'd say that almost everything Bangladesh today has worked. Even Shanto, full toss aside. The only mistake they made was probably bowling Nassan when Moeen Ali was facing in the last over of the power play. It's hard enough. I know he's a power play specialist spinner, so that's fine. I'm not saying throwing him in, but you get him to bowl the sixth over cold. He hasn't bowled in the power play at all. And then you say, could you just bowl to the guy who's got a 200 strike rate against left-arm finger spinners in the last 5 years? See how you go with the field up. Other than that, everything they've done, the surprise Yorkers. Hassan is a really, really interesting bowler. Taskin Ahmed here, back of a length, good ball defended, back up the wicket, no run. Taskin Ahmed bowling out here, you're like, well, he's their more experienced bowler, but if you have a look, they've got Mustafiza, who's their death specialist, and they've got Hassan, who I think has impressed us in the game and a half we've seen him so far, and clearly they want him to be a middle overs and death bowler. So they're saying to him, look, young man with the beautiful sort of Ben Affleck hair, this is your role going forward. We're going to back you to do this, and you're going to have to bowl the last 4 overs with Mustafiza at the other end. And then the other thing we've been talking about is the surprise Yorkers that they've gone with. I almost thought he was going to go for the Yorker then. He ended up, it's not quite there. It's a length ball on leg stump, another cutter, and very slow, and it's just pushed by Sam Curran up to long on for one. So almost everything they've tried has worked today.
Yeah, it has. They've mixed up their variations extremely well, bolted their fields, apart from, as you said, that filthy ball from Santo or his first delivery. But they've been really good. They've been on it, athletic in the field, busy, all what you need in a T20 game. They've been brilliant so far.
78 for 4 here on TalkSport 2. That was Alex Tudor, Jared Kimber, Ben Duckett facing Taskin Ahmed. It's short, and it goes to ball or hook this and just ducks in the end. Well, it's given it as a wide. I want to see that again. As Alex Tudor sounds like Chewbacca off mic.
I mean, come
that
on.
Maybe it was a wide.
Yeah, Ben Duckett's he's not blessed in the height region. But, for me, that's a good bumper.
Yeah, it's not a wide to a full-size batter, but to Ben Duckett it probably is, to be fair.
Poor bowler again.
Taskin, 1 for 22, 3.4. Liked his surprise balls, slight delay here. Duckett is 12 for 14. We've got mid-off up. So we've got a third back, deep cover point. Long on is up as well. So I think we're going to have another short ball here. And as I say that, he bowls a length ball outside of stump that is slapped away for 4. Poor ball, probably one of the poorest he's bowled today. And Ben Duckett just slashed that away, I suppose, as much as anything, and picks up a free boundary.
Yeah, the execution on that shot was fantastic. As you said, short and wide from Taskin. Probably predominantly first bad ball he's bowled in his spell so far. But Ben Duckett able to jump on that and hit it sort of backward a point like an absolute tracer bullet.
Should be noted, tracer bullets don't move quicker than normal bullets. Although I don't think they go slower than normal bullets either. But shout out to Ravi Shastri if you're listening. It's probably not. Probably concentrating on the fact that India are 529 for 5. Taskin Ahmed, again, this is short outside of stump, but they've put a fielder back there for that now. We've seen that fielder in test matches for Ben Duckett as well, that sort of deep backward point, which we were talking about earlier, in fact, as well. But it's the end of the 13th over, 84 for 4 with Jared Kimber, former England player Alex Tudor here on TalkSport. Remember Cheltenham, we're just 2 days away from the start of the Cheltenham Festival, with every race from the iconic Jumps Festival live across TalkSport Network from Tuesday afternoon. And a reminder that you can wake up with Chris Evans, not personally, but on the radio, from 6:30 a.m. and with Graham Norton on the weekends from 9:30 a.m. on Virgin Radio. Listen to Virgin on DAB or download the app. Virat Kohli's moved on to 170. So many people will say Virat Kohli back in form, rather than quite obviously, oh, they've made a pitch that a human can score a run on in India, and suddenly everyone's making runs again. If you're Cameron Green or Shubman Gill, you look like you're going to come away from that test series in India with a great batting average based on the fact that you got to play on the wicket. That actually helped, where everyone else had to go through the first couple of tests where no one could score. Afif Hassan, we've got another part-time off-spinner. It's all happening. They're finding everyone at the back of their cupboard as this is full and straight, pushed back to the bowler by Ben Duckett for no run. I would have thought that having seen Afif bowl and having seen Shanto bowl, Alex Judah, that Afif, and that was only Shanto's second over in a T20 international, by the way. Outside off stump, doesn't spin much, just slides on with the arm and is punched to covers, and they take one. I would have said that having seen a little bit of Afif bowl, probably a slightly stronger option than Shanto's, let's say a little bit more agricultural off spin.
Well, this is now their 8th option. They might be going for the whole team apart from the keeper. Everyone's having a bowl.
I reckon Litton Das could bowl. Oh, this is a good ball, full and straight, and he comes down and almost yorks himself to Sam Curran. Chips it in the air to long on. Hassan is there. Fires that back into the wicketkeeper. So 2 runs off the first 3 balls. So straight away, yeah, we've had, I'm trying to think, how many? Well, Nassan bowled the 1 over, and they're trying to get through as many overs as possible from the part-timers because there's so many left-handers in this English lineup. It's outside off stump, and he's hit this to the right of mid long off, and Shanto comes around. You hear the shouts. I always thought there was 2 on there, but perhaps Sam Curran didn't believe there was 2 because Duckett made it back easily. And Sam Curran just took a little bit longer. Oh, Sam Curran was jogging. That's poor cricket from Sam Curran there. He's almost run himself out for no reason. It would have had to been a direct hit in the end, Shoots, but that was poor running. He should have been running harder. That was always hit wide of the fielder.
Yeah, 100%. You know, sometimes you have those little lapses, and that's what costs you. Got away with one there.
Sweep from Duckett. Times that well, but unfortunately for him, I think he tried to get a little bit finer, but he's ended up just finding the sweeper, and he just gets one. That's the sorts of things with Curran. We know he wants to bat up the order. We saw it in the one-dayer and everything else. We know he has talent, but there are little moments where you see that and you go, he still thinks like a bowler a little bit more than a batter.
You just got to be switched on, don't you? First thing you tell the kids, you run that first one hard, and then you turn and look. Yeah, it's not even where you run and you look at the fielder. You get down the other end and then you look, because by looking while you're running, it's going to slow you down.
Full outside leg stump, probably going to be a wide as Litton Das waits for Sam Curran to fall over. He doesn't, so he doesn't stump him, and it's given a wide. Sort of bowling low round arm, sort of proper part-time off spin here. Afif Hassan actually puts his arm up high this time, full, straight, driven down to long on. They take 1. So with Nassan only being able to bowl 1 over so far, they've got through 2 overs of the part-timers. Shanto went for 9 runs. Afif has gone for 7. Duckett moves to 21 from 20. Sam Curran 12 off 14. Probably done their job, those part-timers. They've got 2 seamers left to bowl, and they've still got Mahedi Hassan, who has he got 1 for 6 off 2. So he will bowl 2 more overs. Hassan will bowl 2 more overs, and Mustafiz will bowl 2 more overs. Have I got my maths right?
I'm not going to challenge you, fella.
Am I missing someone? I think I've got everyone there.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to tell because they've used so many bowlers, Tudes, at this point.
Well, they have. Well, you look at the figures of the skipper. Well, because he's... because he be turning it back in to the left-handers, he's not bowling. He's bowled 1 over 1 for 1. And he's not bowled again. Because it's about the matchups. Because
he's like, I've got good figures. I can come out of this okay. If I come back at the death, it could be massacre. England, 91 for 4 after 14. Sam Curran is facing Mahedi Hassan. The ball short, spins it. He smashes this, but straight to Shakib, who manages not to allow a run, and more importantly, keeps his immaculate bowling figures.
Well, that's where the game's changed, isn't it? Because, you know, generally he would be bowling again, regardless if it was a left-hander or not.
He comes down the wicket. This could be stumped. He comes down the wicket. It was short. It was good bowling from Mahedi Hassan. He saw Curran come. He bowled wide when short went fast, and in the end, Sam Curran's halfway down the pitch trying to play a cut shot, and Litton Das takes the bails. I think he's been given out on the field. I don't even think we're going back. I'm not sure he even got it back into the crease, did he?
No, I don't think he is. He's stumped. It's good bowling, as you said. Sam Curran not really going anywhere. Mahedi, good bowling. Litton Das extremely keeping his eyes on it. Kept extremely well there. It's good. Andrew McKenna will be happy with that. Our resident wicket keeper.
Curran, 12 off 16. A couple of times we've seen him have a chance in this series in Bangladesh and not be able to get away. It's the same problem. It's the ball before. He got a bit of a loose one. It was short and wide. He hits it well, but a top order batter probably just picks the gap. He hits it straight to short cover. You could see how frustrated he was after that one. And he just came down to the wrong ball, playing the wrong shot, and then also probably didn't react quick enough to the fact he was out of his crease.
Also, if we go back the last over, when he should have, that 2 should have been easily, his mindset at the moment wasn't quite on it. And then his mindset, his decision making wasn't quite on it. It has an effect. In this format of the game, you have to be on it. And as you said, he does have the tendency to have these lapses. You can't have it at this level. Otherwise, you have to depart on it. And sadly, he does. And Chris Wokes is at the wicket, striking at 144. We don't even talk about the average anymore. It's all about strike rate.
Yeah, they've got Chris Jordan and Rayan Ahmed, so they're still batting to come. That partnership, at least, it stopped the rot of the wickets, but they're a long way behind where they want to be, I should say. Things have fallen very well for Bangladesh so far. Even if you look at those 2 overs of left arm finger spin, one went for 13, but the other one went for 1. So they got through those 2 overs. They got through the 2 part-timers fairly without too much damage there as well. Mahedi Hassan, he now has 2 for 6 from 2.2. Bowls to Chris Wokes, the spins and bounces and hits Chris Wokes on the pad, bounces up, he's not sure where that is. Suddenly there's venom in the wicket, everything's happening. That was quite quick as well, 92 kilometres an hour. Oh, and that took a chunk of the ground with it.
Yeah. That is like playing at the park, let me tell you. King George's back in Wandsworth.
This could be out too if Litton Das can take it. It spins, it bounces, it flicks something. Litton Das just gets it on the second grab, takes the bails off. Chris Wokes is walking, the umpire is referring it, but I can't imagine that Chris Wokes got back here. That was a brutal delivery. Chris Wokes just wanted to get bat on ball. I think he was just searching for it, came down the crease, but he was nowhere near the line, the length, anything. And when that ball took a chunk of the surface out, he was in all sorts.
The dip, the purchase, Gerard, on that delivery was fantastic. Maybe the ball before with a puff of dust sort of playing in his head. That one had great dip. The purchase, puff of dust again, going in between bat and pad. Litton Das having to jump up, but had the presence of mind to get back to the stumps straight away. I don't even know why they're looking at ultra edge.
Well, I mean, if he hit it, he's out anyway, because Litton Das caught it, didn't he? So
you can fit a bus through there.
Very few players missed the ball by as much as Chris Wokes has missed it by.
I don't even know why that's still on screen.
All right, so it's flipped his front pad, so we might have to check the LBW as well. It's hit Litton Das. Well, it's hit Litton Das in 4 different places. It's hit him just above the nipple. That went into the chin, into the helmet, and it ends up in the gloves. He actually has his hands in front of the stumps here, but it's going to be out because the ball has flicked the pads. If it hadn't have flicked the pads of Chris Wokes, that would have been not out. But because it flicks the pads of Chris Wokes on the way through, it doesn't matter that he takes the ball in front of the stumps. Although I'm not even sure he took the ball in front of the stumps. He kind of took it behind the stumps off himself and then went in front of the stumps. But either way, it's completely it's a legal stumping. Chris Wokes never even got back. 2 stumpings in 3 balls. Litton Das has been challenged in 2 different ways by 2 different kinds of stumpings. And Chris Jordan has come in. I thought we might see Rayan Ahmed because we're in the 15th, but maybe it's close enough that the big hitting Jordan can come out. 91 for 6. England in some trouble here, and we've seen the last 2 balls take a big chunk of the pitch out. And we might even now see Shakib go, yeah, there's a right-hander here. Maybe I can get 2 for 1.
Yeah, possibly. You may see that. As you said, he's only bowled 1 over the skipper so far, 1 for 1. But Mahedi's been very impressive. He's now got 3 wickets for only 6 runs. The wicket has helped. As you said, it's taken chunks out as the ball lands. So playing in the mind of the England batters, but they need to get up to a decent total.
We saw that with Milan's wicket very early on as well. But to be fair, the pitch is played fairly well. I mean, these last couple of ones have been slightly different from other things we've seen. It's been beautiful bowling as well. Mahedi Hassan comes in, he spins and takes the pad of Chris Jordan. Goes on the leg side. He looks kind of baffled by that delivery, all things considered. Wicketkeeper Littendas comes around. There's no runs. Mahedi now is 3 for 6. And he's going to be bowling deep into the death as well. 1 ball to go in his 15th here on TalkSport 2. Last ball, fast, it's at the pads. Chris Jordan shuffles himself around, squeezes this out on the leg side, and they take 1. So he's going to take the strike. So Ben Duckett is caught at the non-striker's end. He took 2 for 1 in that over. Mahedi Hassan, 92 for 6 after 15. England, they're in some trouble here. TalkSport 2. Abhishek Janjanwala is going to be replacing Alex Shooter, and the great Andrew McKenna will be replacing me.
Jerry Kimber, the master of understatement. England in some trouble. 92 for 6 after 15 overs. Completely different sort of game to what we've seen so far. 2 stumpings in the over from Litton off the bowling of Mahedi. And, well, England just scrabbling now to get what they can. Duckett and Jordan. Rayan Ahmed can wield the willow, has a first-class 100, of course, as does Adil Rashid coming in at 10. So there are still men to come, but oh dear, it's looking tricky. And guess what? Jared's called it right. Shakib Al Hassan's bringing himself back on because there's a right-hander. He's going to bowl left arm around the wicket, it's down the leg side, and it will be a wide. Abhishek Janjanwala's moved in for Alex Tudor.
Yeah, I think, again, it's about match-up and it's about trying to not give them an upper hand. And Shakib seeing an opportunity here with the right-hander coming in straight away on.
Arm ball from Shakib, hurries on to Chris Jordan, pushes out to square cover, and there is no run. By the way, I should just keep people up to date with the test match, the India-Australia test match. Commentary to follow, of course, tomorrow morning once again on TalkSport 2. Shakib Al Hassan coming in. Chris Jordan comes forward, pushes to cover, no run. Looks like India, and Abhi called it earlier, might be thinking about a declaration this evening. Akshar Patel has started launching it to all parts. 79 from 112 balls. India 553 for 5. Virat Kohli's 175 not out. So I just wonder, they lead by 73 there. Shakib Al Hassan goes in. Chris Jordan waits for it, guides it down to short third. No run once again.
Yeah, a bit frustrated, Chris Jordan. He was expecting to get a single in every delivery he hit in this over, apart from the first one, which was a wide. Every time managed to hit the ball, he was looking for a single, but got no. Absolutely nothing from Ben Duckett from the other end. He was not interested because he was hitting the ball straight to the fielders, and it could have been a bit risky there. A bit desperation here from both these batters. They need to get going. They need to score a few runs here. 140, I think, is the minimum they need here to try and put any pressure on Bangladesh.
Shakib Al Hassan comes in and bowls around the wicket. Chris Jordan punches to long off, and a single will be taken. 94 for 6 now. Jordan's got 2 from 6, and Ben Duckett, who of course was such a big part of the Nottinghamshire Outlaws T20 and the Trent Rockets 100, is going to have a big part to play in these remaining few balls. There's 26 left in the innings. So Shakib Al Hassan will go over the wicket to the lefty, and now he's getting the 2 boundary riders on the cover side to go about 20 metres square. So point becomes backward point, and extra cover.
He might go a bit short outside off stump. He's not going to bowl on the stumps and not allow Ben Duckett to just put his knees down and try and slog it over cow corner or mid-wicket. Though there is protection, there's a deep mid-wicket, there's a deep square leg and a long on, but I think he's just going to go outside off stump a little bit.
Over the wicket he goes too straight. That's leg stumpish, and Duckett will be very disappointed with things because he swept that straight out along the floor, I should add, to Mahedi at deep square leg, and it's only a single. 95 for 6 that he missed out there.
Yeah, he had an opportunity to get a boundary. Every ball is so crucial. Jordan, we know he can hit the long ball as well, but against Shakib, not so sure.
Jordan is deep in the crease as Shakib bowls left arm around the wicket to the right-hander, back down the pitch to the bowler in his follow-through, and there's no run. England still haven't made it to 3 figures. 16 overs gone, 95 for 6. We mentioned before that Bangladesh only used 5 bowlers in the first game. They've used 8 in this game so far. Believe it or not, and I love Gary, our stats man, there has been occasions when 9 bowlers were used.
Wow.
6 of them In fact, in T20 internationals, and I'm going to say something stupid here, if you can name one of them, I'll give you the keys to my house. That's how obscure these games are. They're absolutely... I mean, I wouldn't mind being at some of them. Papua New Guinea against Bermuda.
Right.
Denmark against Germany, back in 2021. Cayman Island against Bahamas. Cool, I bet that was tasty. Mehdi Hassan goes in, bowls around the wicket to Ben Duckett, hits through point all along the floor, and it will be just a single out to the fielder there, 96 for 6. South Korea against Indonesia, one of the more unlikely ones. St Helena against Botswana, and then finally Sierra Leone against Cameroon.
This makes all sense, because if you don't give everyone a go, they're not going to turn up the next game. You won't have 11.
Absolutely. It's a bit like club cricket at that stage, isn't it? Right, Chris Jordan on strike. Mahedi, right arm over, ball in his off spin, outside of off stump, hammered into the cover region. Afif does well to stop it there, and it's another ball that's not scored off. England remain 96 for 6, and they're currently going at less than 6 and over. Mahedi in, turns to Chris Jordan, he whips that off of, well, middle and off really, out to Talukdar, who is sweeping on the leg side. Single taken, 97 for 6. Mahedi has 3 for 9 halfway through his final over.
He's been exceptional, outstanding in today's game, and this is again an opportunity for him to get another wicket. Bowling to Ben Duckett, taking the ball away from him. I would have loved to see a slip. Go attacking, try and get a wicket.
In he goes, Mahedi around the wicket to Duckett. He's too short there. Duckett is able to slap that off the back foot. Talukdar will go around to his left-hand side to the extra cover boundary, and they're going to come back for a couple. There's a bit of frustration, as you can hear, from the Bangladeshi fielders, but with England 99 for 6, they shouldn't be too disappointed.
It shouldn't be. If I was Mehdi, I would try and toss the ball up, on the middle stump, and try and invite Ben Duckett to go across the line, try and go over mid-wicket or cow corner against the spin. Let's see if it does it or not.
3 for 11 from Mahedi so far. He's got 2 balls left of his allocation. Can Ben Duckett put even the merest of dints into those numbers? Mahedi around the wicket to Duckett, off of the back foot, he clothed it really along the floor down to long off. Just a single to be taken, so the 100's up at least for England. 100 for 6, 16 overs and 5 balls. Well, at least they got there. I suppose that's the main thing. Final ball then from Mahedi, over the wicket to Jordan, swings hard. Oh, he's got a leading edge on that one. It loops up into the sky and he's caught on the boundary. Talukdar takes the catch. England bring up 100 but lose a 7th, and Jordan, it's been brief, he's come and gone, and Mahedi finishes with 4 for 12 from 24 balls bowled. England 100 for 7.
Yeah, Jordan should be very disappointed. He must be very disappointed. That was there to hit anywhere he fancied on the leg side. Tried to overhit it, just slicing ever so slightly, and didn't get enough. A very easy catch for Talukdar. For Ronnie Talukdar, and Chris Jordan out for 3 of 10 deliveries wasted. Way too many balls, but Mehdi has been outstanding, picking up his 4 wicket with his last delivery of his spell. In comes Rehan Ahmed, making his debut in T20 cricket. Made his debut in all 3 formats in a very, very quick time. A good prospect, a lot expected of him in England and around the world. Hopefully, yeah, he'll be able to justify his talent.
I could tell you, Akshar Patel has just gone for India in the Test match. 79 from 113 balls, 555 for 6. So they lead by 75, but Ashwin has still gone out to bat. So if they are thinking of a declaration, it's not quite yet. Maybe Kohli 23 away from a double 100 is just causing that thought process. But anyway, we'll keep you up to date with that. Back with the commentary on that from 3:30 tomorrow morning here on Talk Sport 2. What England would give for 177 from their innings, let alone one batsman at the moment.
Yeah, it's been a difference for all the batters out there. It's not been an easy pitch, but there's been some poor shot selection as well alongside it.
Wicket from the final ball of the over. So Duckett is on strike, that's at least the positive. Mustafizur's going to come in and bowl, takes him on the thigh pad. And they will run a leg by as he just dribbles out on the onside. So England will get a single, and Rayan Ahmed will about to face his first ball in T20 international cricket.
He can bat, we know that. Everyone could bat who have come so far. But unfortunately on a pitch like this, it's a bit hard to get going. Even for batters, let alone somebody who's coming in at number 9 or 10. So a lot of responsibility on Rayan. At the moment, all he should think about is getting a single and getting Ben Duckett back on strike. Let him do majority of the scoring.
Mustafizur goes in. Rayan Ahmed plays it well, guides it to the fielder at sort of a wide gully or short third. Fielding done, no run taken, remains 101 for 7. Should mention those figures for Mehdi Hassan are indeed his best, as you might imagine, in T20 international cricket. Beaten his previous of 3 for 17, so when he gets them in pretty good style. So 4 for 12 from 4 overs. Mustafizur goes in, swing and a miss from Rayan Ahmed. Gives him a little bit of width, Mustafizur, on that occasion, 82 miles an hour, and Rayan not able to catch up with that. And that was a shot, actually, that if he got something on it, even if it was an edge, probably would have flown away.
Yeah, he just completely sliced that one, Jordan. But again, going back to the bowling, every bowler who has got an opportunity in this game has bowled really, really well. They've stuck to the tasks. They had a very clear game plan coming into this match. They've all executed their game plan properly.
Mustafizur goes in. That one grips in the surface, actually, as he rolls his wrist over that. And Rayan Ahmed actually had to pull his head back away from that. He bounces a second time in front of the keeper. And there's no run, 101 for 7.
He's such a skillful bowler. He's such a skillful bowler, Mustafizur. And there was a period in the middle where he lost a bit of touch with his bowling. But at the moment, the way he is bowled in this series feels like he's very happy. He's got his rhythm back and he's bowling really, really well.
Mustafizur in for the 5th ball of the over. Swing and a miss again from Rayan Ahmed. Not able to get anything on it. Through to Lytton Das. And there is no run.
85 miles that delivery. Bowling cross seam. Once you bowl that cross seam, sometimes you get those variable bounce, and that's exactly what has happened. Ball bounced a lot more than Rayan Ahmed anticipated it to. So back-to-back dot balls, keeping a lot of pressure here. There's been 1 leg by and 4 dots since then.
Mustafizur goes in. Rayan Ahmed swings into the leg side. It's right off of the toe end, but all the fielders are in the circle, so there's no one out there. So Rayan Ahmed starts with a 4. England 105 for 7, and that is 18 of their 20 overs gone.
You're very disappointed with that delivery, Mustafizur. Slower ball too many, didn't need to. He was bowling really, really well in that length and was getting variable bounce. That was again a bit short. A slower delivery, but he didn't get the length right, got it a bit short, and Rayan Ahmed was ready for it. He was waiting for anything short to launch over that mid-on fielder. It's a good finish to the over, but still England far, far behind from where they would have liked to be. 105 for 7 after 18.
Lytton Das only had 1 stumping in T20 international cricket before today. He's now got 3. 2 in an over. And, well, let's be fair, England were in trouble before that happened, but that basically finished things off. So, can they even get to a run a ball at the moment? 120.
Yep.
Jeez. The defending world champions. I mean, yes, it's a changed side and all of that. Shakib Al Hassan will come in to bowl his 3rd over. He's left arm over. Ben Duckett will swing it out to the leg side, and there's only a single. So it's 106 for 7, and Rayan Ahmed comes back on strike. Duckett goes to 27 from 26.
Yeah, you still wouldn't want to lose a series. Doesn't matter who you're playing against. Especially if you're the world champion, you want to win every single game of cricket you play.
Rayan Ahmed goes inside out over cover and hits another boundary. 2nd for Rayan Ahmed. He goes to 8 from 6 deliveries, and England 110 for 7. Shakib Al Hassan just give him a little bit of room to free his arms, and he came down the pitch, went leg side of it, and I tell you what, that's as good a shot as we've seen today.
Oh, that was a beautiful shot. The footwork was outstanding. Giving himself over extra cover is one of the hardest shots in cricket.
Rayan Ahmed fuller and straighter by Shakib Al Hassan this time, so he turns it around to the edge of the 30-metre circle on the mid-wicket side. Single taken 111 for 7.
They're not an easy shot to play, going over extra cover against a left-arm spinner. There's a high risk to it as well. If you miss the ball, obviously you'll be out of a crease. So he executed both the shots really, really nicely here, Rehan. Looking good, 9 of 7 deliveries.
Shakib Al Hassan over the wicket to Ben Duckett. He's playing the hard sweep out to mid-wicket. He's not really timed it, actually, and Afif will do the fielding on the boundary. But just a single, 112 for 7. So 7 from the over from 4 balls so far. England's probably most productive over for a while. Shakib around the wicket to Rayan Ahmed. Again goes leg side and tries to hit through cover, but Taskin is on the edge of the 30-metre circle and he's picked him out, no run.
Yeah, Shakib, with all his experience, he's got so much experience over the years and such an outstanding bowler.
This one is in on the stump. Rayan Ahmed has backed away, slogged it up in the air. Can the fielder get round underneath it? No. And there was a chance for a moment, but Rayan Ahmed, it was one of those that if he'd hit it better, he probably would have got out. So actually, by timing it as badly as he did, he gets a single. England go to 114 for 7 from 19 overs, and Rayan Ahmed is still there and will face the first ball of the final over here on TalkSport 2.
Yeah, England going exactly 6 and over. The final over, they're 114. They would want to get at least 10-15, try and make it as big an over as possible, maybe the biggest over of this match so far. It's not going to be easy. Looks like it's going to be Mustafizur Rahman, who's bowled 3 overs so far, gone for just 17 of those 3 overs. So with all his variation, the Yorkers, the slower delivery, the quick delivery, it's going to make life difficult for the batters.
Well, the crowd have been coming in all afternoon. It's not a million miles off of being full, and it looks like they're going to be coming in to watch a Bangladesh run chase to try and clinch a series against the T20 World Cup champions, because at the moment everything is in the home side's favour. Before the game, 888 Sport had Bangladesh almost 2-1 shots in this game, with England odds-on favourites. Well, if they're to win, it's going to take something truly, truly special with the ball. Ben Duckett then to start the final over against Mustafizur. Lefty on lefty, left arm over. Duckett swings hard. He's got underneath this though. It comes off the stickers of the bat, and it's well taken by Shanto. About 5 metres behind the stumps only. 2 fielders coming charging towards the ball. Almost took each other out, but the catch is taken. Mustafizur hurried that one on. Duckett didn't get enough of it, and another one walks back to the dressing room for England.
That's an outstanding catch. It's a very, very difficult catch, running and then diving, making sure that the ball doesn't get out of his hand. Ben Duckett, 28 of 28, tried really, really hard, but just couldn't get going. Again, that hard length from Mustafizur, didn't try anything different, just bowl that back of the length, and with that variable bounce hitting the splice of the bat and right up. Very easy. I mean, it was a wonderful execution of skills from Mustafizur again. And now in comes Adil Rashid. Yes, we know he's got 10 hundreds in first-class cricket, but those pitches were a lot different than the pitch he's going to bat on.
Absolutely. The present of England leg spin, batting with potentially the future of England leg spin. Adil Rashid's 94th match. He settles in. Right-hander, of course. Mustafizur goes in. It's well flipped around the corner by Adil Rashid. He's got it down to fine leg and will take a single. He's off the mark straight away. One more to the total, 115 for 8.
They need a few big hits. Again, we're watching the replay of how Ben Duckett got out. That was a terrific, terrific catch from Shanto. Diving in front, keeping the ball, making sure the ball stays in the hand. Very good technique.
Rayan Ahmed then. His bat is on off stump at the moment. Toes are in front of all 3. Mustafizur goes in and bowls wide of off stump, and Rayan Ahmed gets an under edge through to the keeper, no run, as it runs along the ground. Again, he's staying leg side of the ball deliberately, trying to go over cover, which is why Mustafizur is going slightly wider and say, well, let's see if you can do it from this delivery then.
He's going to mix it up. He's going to bowl those slow deliveries. He's going to bowl those quick deliveries. He's got a very good Yorker as well. We haven't seen a lot of Yorkers from him in this series, but he does bowl a good Yorker. The mid-on's up.
Basically got a fly slip, isn't it? The short third is almost a fly slip at the moment, which isn't a bad position. Mustafizur goes in. Short one to Rayan Ahmed. Rayan Ahmed gets out the way, goes through to Lytton Das, and because Rayan Ahmed is walking around in the crease, Das underarms the ball, hits the leg stump, but Rayan Ahmed was in his ground.
Very good bouncer. Surprised him completely on that occasion, Mustafizur Rahman, and that's what he can do. He can bowl a lot of different variations, different types of slow balls. So as a batter, it's very, very difficult to be able to pick his deliveries. Couple of deliveries left, 115. They're not even at 6 and over at the moment, England.
Here we go then, penultimate ball. Short ball bouncer, that's going to be a wide. And England are going to run a by, and Rayan Ahmed's going to be run out. They were going to get the one for the wide anyway, and the extra ball. They were just going anyway. And Rayan Ahmed has been run out by about half the length of the pitch. Lytton Das underarms it back to the bowler, and Mustafizur has run out Rayan Ahmed by half the length of the pitch. In fairness, Rayan had bailed on that one pretty early because he knew it was pointless, but would one run have made that much of a difference when you've only got 116 on the board? Rayan Ahmed run out for a run of ball 11.
It's a bit surprising given that he's faced 11 deliveries and Rashid has just faced one. He's been striking better than anybody else. He should have been on the strike, and they've already got a single in terms of a wide. There was no reason. That was very, very foolish of Adil Rashid to try and hug the strike, really. But still, two more deliveries to go. Archer comes in. Adil Rashid will be on the strike because it's a run out, and he hopes that he can hit a couple of boundaries here to finish things off for England.
Well, let's be honest, if numbers 9, 10 and 11 are batting in a T20 game, you're in trouble anyway. Numbers 10 and 11 are at the crease for England. There are 2 balls left of the innings. Rashid on strike. Mustafizur goes in, and Rashid has tried to sort of Caribbean style play this on one leg. It's a shortish ball. He's actually taken it off of the edge into the grill of his own helmet. It dribbles out on the offside, and they take a single. He's got to the non-striker's end and straight away says to the umpire, don't worry, I'm absolutely fine. Because I think technically they are supposed to now go through the concussion protocols.
Yeah.
But I think he's trying to say, look, for the sake of one ball, I'm at the non-striker's end, Jofra's on strike, let's just get this done and dusted, don't worry, I'm absolutely fine. So England 117 for 9. A boundary would take them above a run of ball for the innings. Jofra Archer has not faced yet. This will be it, one and done. Mustafizur for the final time. Left arm over, swing and a miss by Jofra Archer. He's missed, and again they go for the same play, and the same works out. Lytton Das, the wicketkeeper, throws it to Mustafizur, and Mustafizur runs out Jofra Archer at the non-striker's end. Again, it's the slower ball. Lytton Das is alive to what it is. England are going anyway. He underarms it to the bowler, and Jofra Archer is run out by 4 yards, and England are 117 all out in 20 overs.
He already has his gloves off, so had his gloves tucked in behind his trousers, something which MS Dhoni started, I think, especially in T20 cricket. But what a result this has been for Bangladesh cricket. They've bowled exceptionally well. The fielding has been outstanding, and they looked very hungry out there. They showed the desperation that they really want to win this game, win the series. That's going to give them a lot of confidence, especially doing it against the world champions, the current world champions, England. But England's performance has been a bit disappointing with the bat in both these matches, Macca.
Ain't that the truth? Well, it's a pretty sorry-looking scorecard. Phil Salt, 25 from 19. David Milan, 5 from 8. Moeen Ali, 15 from 17. Just Butler, 4 from 6. Ben Duckett, 28 at a run of ball. Sam Curran, 12 from 16. Chris Wokes, 0 from 2. Chris Jordan, 3 from 10. Rayan Ahmed, 11 from 11. Adil Rashid, not out, 1 from 2 balls faced. Jofra Archer, run out for 0 from the only ball that he faced. In terms of bowlers, Bangladesh used 8 of them. Taskin Ahmed still bowled his 4, 1 for 27. Mustafizur Rahman still bowls his 4, 1 for 19. Nassim Ahmed, 1 over, cost 13 of his slow left arm. Shakib Al Hassan, 1 for 13 from 3. Hassan Mahmoud, 1 for 10 from 2. Mehdi Hassan absolutely ripped the heart out of England. 4 overs, 4 for 12. So 24 deliveries, 4 for 12. Najmal Hussain Shanto's 1 over of spin cost him 9. Afif Hussein's 1 over of part-time spin cost him 7. Well, I mean, there's not a great deal you can say about that. Except to say England just have to go all-out attack, because they're not going to defend this, Abhishek Janjanwala, so they simply just have to try and blow Bangladesh away.
Yeah, I think first thing they can't afford to do is allow Bangladesh to get going in the first 6 overs. They've got to keep the lid on and also take wickets at the same time. The only way they're going to win this game is by trying to get Bangladesh all out. I mean, I doubt that they're going to, if Bangladesh plays 20 overs, they're going to lose this game. So yeah, from England's point of view, the bowler will have to turn up today and do the job for the side.
I'm going to be honest, I'm more than a little taken aback at the moment, where it doesn't often happen. From the 15th over onwards, England lost 6 wickets, and the best over that they had was 10 in the final stint. England's 3rd lowest total batting first in a T20 international. That was the worst, 103 against the West Indies in Barbados, which is again in 2022. We weren't on broadcasting duty against South Africa in Nottingham back in 2009, but 117 today, and it is the 4th lowest total batting first versus Bangladesh in T20 internationals at Mirpur. The lowest was New Zealand in 2021 when they got 60. Blimey, that might have been an interesting game. Afghanistan made 72 in 2014, and New Zealand again in 2021 made 93. That 2021 series must have been fairly interesting.
Yeah, they don't like Mirpur for sure.
No, absolutely not. But 117 today. Well, this might be a quick one, because I've got a funny feeling Bangladesh might try and rattle this as quickly as they can. England have got to try and rattle this as quickly as they can.
Kimber and Abhishek Janjanwala, former IPL player, here at Mirpur, talking about the fact that England made 117 from their 20 overs. With that, it was a run out, I think, off the last ball, wasn't it? So they were all out for 117. A couple of run outs there at the end. Taskin Ahmed started very well. He took 1 for 27. Mustafisa took 1 for 19. Nassim bowled 1 over for 13. Shakib took 1 for 13 from 3. Hassan bowled 2 overs, 1 for 10. He was probably going to come back at the end. He didn't need to. And then we just saw a plethora of off spinners. Every off spinner they had available to them. But the pick was certainly Mehdi Hassan, who ended up with 4 wickets. He was the real difference. He was the one who sort of did the collapse. And Afif and Shanto, I think, bowled 1 each, I think, of their part-time off spin. But really, really interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was surprised that he didn't turn up in the first match. I was very surprised when I didn't see him in the first 11 in the first game. And it's good that they've got him back in the side, and straight away he's making a massive difference, picking up 4 wickets and bowled really, really well. He bowled really well in the one days as well. So it was a bit surprising. But yeah, it's again top performance from Bangladesh, and now is up to their batters. Ronnie Talukdar getting an opportunity to play for Bangladesh again after 8 years. Doesn't happen very often or ever in Bangladesh cricket. The history suggests that if you get an opportunity, you don't do well, you never make a comeback.
Well, they had that thing, didn't they? When they started cricket, they had a lot of older players. They didn't have any success. And then they did the worst thing you could ever do. They got rid of every player over 28, and they basically let Mohammad Ashraful and Shakib and Tamim Iqbal, and those guys had no one to learn off, because there were no professionals around them. And Mohammad Ashraful ended up involved in match fixing. Shakib as well in match fixing. His was a lot later on, of course, but Tamim probably didn't develop the way that they wanted him to, and that's because they didn't have an older head just going, okay, you're on this wicket, you've been here, we've done that.
Yeah. And also just to teach them the basics when they were touring, just about life and just normal stuff. I don't think they had anyone to look up to. They were very, very young side, and some very talented cricketer like Mohammad Ashraful. Remember when he burst into the scene, he got that 100
against Australia.
Yeah, against Australia. Everyone thought, this guy can bat and he can be a world beater.
Plays club cricket in around London now, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Roni Talekda is the player we're talking about. So he really has had an unimpressive career so far in T20 cricket. You have a look, he hasn't made many runs and he's done it slowly, and then something happened in the BPL this year where started smashing the ball everywhere. We saw him playing that first T20, given a license to go out there and hit there and struck the ball beautifully.
But that happens with a lot of cricketers when they have nothing to lose. He must have thought, I have no opportunity or no chance of making a comeback and play for Bangladesh. I'm just going to go out there. I've got a few more years left in my career. I'm going to go out there and enjoy my cricket. And when you actually start enjoying your cricket and don't put that pressure of performance, I can tell you you're a completely different cricketer.
Yeah, there's been some good cases of that in Australia in the last couple of, last 5 or 10 years. Ed Cowan and Tim Payne. So both of them had basically decided to retire, and then were picked for Australia. These things do sort of happen, especially at that age. Anton Devcic, who I think now who's he? He was coaching England, wasn't he? He was out with England in the Test series. I don't think he's in the T20s. He's another player who fairly mediocre record for years and then suddenly, just exploded at the back end. Sam Curran with the new ball from the Mr. White powder detergent end. Comes in with his left arm, it swings, there's an edge. Goes towards deep point. They're just going to take one run as Ben Duckett falls over as Littendas wants a second one. Desperate for Littendas to make runs. He's a beautiful batter when he's making runs, of which, if you've been following this series, you won't have seen any of at all. And there's a run out in the India match there. I think Umesh Yadav might have just run himself out.
Yes, he's a wonderful batter, and you love to watch him when he's in song, when he's batting well, when he's in form. But as you said, in this series so far, he hasn't really turned up. Again, an opportunity. He's got a couple more games to turn up here and really make an impact.
Yeah, he was signed up for Kolkata in the IPL after smashing India everywhere. Remember, still the best way to get into the IPL is making runs against India. So far in this series, though, he's had a shocker. I'll read you through scores here in a moment. Oh, this is full and straight, and Talika scoops this up almost to Jordan at mid-off. It just goes before him. It swung. It was a good ball from Curran. He's probably going for the Yorker, and in the end, Talika's played an odd shot. So Littendas in this series, and this is over T20 and 1 days, of course. 7, duck, 12.
Yeah, he doesn't want to see that. And when you go through those career, you want to make a comeback, you want to score some runs. And hopefully tonight is the night when Littendas would hope that he can turn things around for himself.
Curran gets an edge, and Rooney just manages to get this past Josh Butler, who dives out. He took the pace off that, I thought. Yeah, it was 116 kilometres now, maybe just a little off cutter. Pitches on middle stump, takes the edge, and it bounced in front of Butler in the end because the pace was taken off so much, but he couldn't get to it, and it went for 4.
Yeah, very surprisingly, there's no slip when they all need is a wicket. The only way they can win this game is by picking up a wicket, and Josh Butler hasn't put a slip in. It's shocking.
Also, a bit surprised to see a slower ball, third ball, when they need wickets as well. But Curran in again, this one is the slow ball. This might be a plan for Rooney, actually, because that ball, again, was wide, took the pace off it, and he swung hard at this and missed it. So I think this is, the analysts or the bowling coach have had a look at the footage and gone, I think the thing with this guy is take the pace off it.
Yeah, I think he likes the pace on the ball. In the previous match, he hit back-to-back boundaries against Sam Curran in the very first over. And probably that's the reason Sam has gone slower. But he's definitely lining him up. If the ball is not swinging, he is going to go hard against Sam Curran.
Short, wide. He's surprised by this completely in the end. He ended up playing a pull shot. Could have almost cut it. It probably wasn't quite as wide as the first call, but he absolutely looked in shock that Sam Curran was bowling back at the length to him there, and he ended up hitting that to cover from a pull shot. Point even.
Yeah, every delivery he's just cutting his finger, he's just rolling his finger over the delivery, try and take some pace off and try and get some sort of an off cutter or the leg cutter to the right hander. Off cutter for Sam Curran, left leg cutter for the right hand batter.
This definitely is a cutter. Leg stump. Littendas just opens the face, pushes at the point. They steal a single. They think of an overthrow. There is none there. Bangladesh scores 6 without loss after the first over here on TalkSport 2 with Jared Kimber and Abhishek Janjanwala.
They'll be more than happy with this start. But Sam Curran bowled 4 slower delivery in that over. A bit surprising that he wasn't looking to swing the ball into the right-hander, try and find that gap between the bat and pad, get them out LBW or bowled. But going for the other option, definitely had a chat with his bowling coach or the statistician who must have given him the information That's the way to go against both these players. They love pace on the bat. They want to go hard straight away. So don't give them any pace. But we'll have to wait and see. Both these players batted really well, especially Ronnie. Had a decent start in the previous game, got 20 odd, and he would like to get a big score under his belt in today's game.
So he's 5 from 4. Lytton has scored 2 from 2. So, as I said before, he's picked up by Kolkata. I wonder if he wasn't, if he was an international player who didn't have connections to Kolkata through languages and ethnicity, if he'd been picked up by Kolkata, because his record doesn't suggest he should be in the OPL. But one thing I would say is the last 2 years, he's a completely different cricketer than he used to be.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of players mature a bit late, and suddenly, and as a coach, sometimes as a franchise, you see a lot of potential. You know what they can do when they mature and get better.
28, so he's just starting to hit his peak as well. So if you're going to take a chance on him, this is probably the year to take it. Might not be able to afford him next year if he makes runs with everyone else. But certainly in Test cricket, I think I might have given him, can't remember if he won the most improved player in Test cricket award I give out. I think he did. I know he was shortlisted. I can't remember who I gave it to now, but his numbers in Test cricket have been incredible. He's facing Chris Wokes here, who bowls a good ball, squares him up a little bit, aiming down the leg side, but just straightens. He ends up just defending it back down the wicket off the outside part of the bat to the bowler, no run.
Yeah, Chris Wokes was just trying to come and bowl that hard length, bowl that good length area, try and get a bit of outswinger, get the outside edge into play. There's a slip. But from England's point of view, they have to take a wicket or two in the power play minimum and not allow Bangladesh to run away with the score either.
This one again squares him up. This one was a bit more on off stump though. Better delivery by Wokes. Makes the outside part of the bat, ends up at mid-off. There's no run. Chris Wokes, because England have got these T20 shirts on that don't have proper collars. It's a bit of a weird design. It sort of flares up at the back. And I'm assuming they look normal on everyone else. That Chris Wokes must have the catapult system on his back because something is not sitting right. It looks like he's got his dad's shirt on. Have a look at it. It's just floating in midair. And this is on the hip. And Lytton just helps this on its way. Couple of bounces before. Kind of a free hit in some ways with fine leg up in the circle. Just being able to help it on its way. A little bit too straight and another boundary.
Yeah, poor delivery. And again, a lovely pickup shot. Picked the length very early on that occasion, Lytton does. There was a deep square leg, but there's a massive gap between that short fine leg fielder and that deep square leg fielder. And piercing that gap beautifully. Great balance, great head position when he played that shot. And pressure now on Chris Wokes.
Lytton moves to 6. Slip in place. He comes down the wicket. He slogs this across the line. Unfortunately for him, he's dragged it more than he wants. Goes out to duck it. And they come back for 2. Just a back of a length ball. Came down the wicket. Really wanted to hit that a bit straighter, but just dragged it across. Wasn't a cutter. Oh, it just came off the toe as much as anything.
What has been really impressive, Jared, is the intent. The way the Bangladesh batters have batted in this, especially in this T20 series. They have always been proactive. They've always put the pressure back on the bowler. And again, not allowing the bowlers to settle in a hard length. Just giving him some down the track. Always changing, chopping and changing a few things and making it really, really difficult for the bowler to settle down.
Just looked at that offside field. I've never seen so many people there, but now I realise there's a reason why I saw so many people. Lytton back of the length, hits it into that offside field. Short third, Rehan Ahmed comes around, throws at the bowler's end, but they take an easy single there. It's because the umpires are dressed exactly the same as the England players, and the umpire's on the wrong side. He's at point, not obviously because of the sun setting. But yeah, we talk about clash strips in football and cricket sometimes. The umpires are literally dressed almost identically to the England players.
When I saw the shot, I was like, it looks a bit clustered. It looks
There's
too many people
There's
on
so
the
many
offside.
people on the offside, yeah.
There are nearly 5. Between point and extra cover, they had 5 people there.
Ridiculous, but yeah, so the umpires moved to the other side. Target is 118. We're in the second over. 14 without loss. This is a slow ball down the leg side. Another slow ball to Roney. Let's keep our eye on that. This one hits his pad, dribbles out to square leg. They take a leg by. The end of Chris Wokes is over there. He's went for 7 runs plus a leg by, so 8 altogether. Cried run rate is under a run of ball. I mean, it started under a run of ball, but they've also started quite well. Remember, you can listen to us on DAB Digital Radio, online at talksport.com via your smart speaker or your free TalkSport app. Swipe left for TalkSport 2, always swipe left. Just a reminder that the India-Australia test is reaching a fairly nice conclusion, and that you can listen to it live from 3:30 a.m. tomorrow morning on TalkSport 2.
Yeah, but just one thing about the test match I'm not understanding, that why isn't India declaring? Is it all about Virat Kohli's double 100? Not sure. It looks like it.
Interesting. Slow ball, outside leg stump. Rooney flicks this to mid-wicket, and he takes one. So he's 6 from 6, and England, my guess is now England have bowled 4 or 5 of the deliveries team have been slow balls.
Yeah, pretty much every delivery Sam Curran has bowled in his spell. He's bowled 7 deliveries. Out of that, he's bowled 5 slower deliveries. He just doesn't want to give any pace. They just shot third, point, extra cover, deep cover, mid-off, mid-on, short mid-wicket, deep square leg, and a short fine.
Guides this, Litton. It was outside off stump, timed it beautifully. It can't beat point. 128 kilometres an hour, so maybe a slightly more pace on that one than some of the others we've seen.
But there was an opportunity. The ball was outside the off stump with a third inside and everyone in the circle. Anything in the gap is a 4.
He hit it well.
Yeah, he timed it really, really well. He timed it really, really well.
Litton. Short. Pulls in the air. This could be out. Should be out. And is. Straight to Phil Salt. Unfortunately for Litton Das, his bad series continues. This time just got a little bit cramped. He sort of played up half a pull shot in the end. And because of that, he got it off the toe of the bat and it went straight to Phil Salt and he's gone.
Yeah.
A big breakthrough for England.
Yeah, unfortunately, that ball didn't deserve a wicket, really. It was a poor delivery. He could have hit it anywhere on the leg stump, on the leg side. But just short arm jab straight to the field. And you go through these times where you're timing the ball, but somehow you're managing to get out. And that's exactly what is happening with Litton Das. He could have hit it over the fielder. He could have hit it for a 6. But just, hitting it straight to the fielder. In comes the man in form. He played a wonderful knock in the previous innings. Shanto batted beautifully.
Najmal Hassan Shanto. I want to say he's the find of this series, but he's been with Bangladesh for quite a long time. He's just never really made any runs before this series. Incredibly low average in international cricket coming into the series, but he's really impressed us. He's bowled a little bit as well. He's taken some very good catches in slips and in the outfield. Good athlete. He's everywhere. He's the everywhere man of Bangladesh cricket in this series.
Yeah, I think he's very young. He's very new to the international circuit. Only 19 T20 matches, and as you mentioned, Jared, that he has an outstanding BPL. He's been the highest run getter in the BPL, and that's probably changed a lot of things for him. He got a lot of confidence, found out a lot about his batting and his ability. You do that as you progress in your career in international cricket, and now he's looking well settled.
Sam Curran, cutter outside the off stump of Shanto, opens to face, runs it to short third. Rayan Ahmed throws it in. There's no run. I'm assuming that Virat Kohli is out and they've declared. So you're right, they were waiting for Kohli to make his 200. Todd Murphy bowled one outside the line of off stump. He tried to slug sweep that, got a top edge. I think he was almost caught a couple of overs ago, but the ball might have just hit the ground. Marnus almost made a mess of that. At the last minute, Marnus changed his hand, but it was a pretty simple catch. So I'll tell you the score there in a moment. But Sam Curran, full straight. He hits straight to mid-on. Sam Curran is furious that Jofra has not tried to run out. Who would that have been? That would have been Shanto, but he was always going to make that.
He had his long barriers way before the ball even reached him.
Yeah, it would have gone to his left hand and it came slow. It was mistimed, so I could see why Curran thought there was a chance there, but I'm not sure there was.
He should have gone quickly onto the ball and picked it up and tried to have a throw at the stumps, but he didn't. He was just happy to wait.
Back of the length cutter again. Hit the cover. Just a push, really. Sam Curran 1 for 9 after 2 here on TalkSport 2. 17 for 1. Required run rate just gone up a little bit, so it's still under a run a ball. Shanto's 1 from 2 and Rooney is 6 from 7.
Yeah, they need to get going. Bangladesh, they can't afford to just sit back and relax and score 30 in the first 6 overs. That's going to put a lot of pressure on them, especially if they lose another wicket here. So they got to find a way. They need an over where they can get 10, 12 and get that momentum going with their batting. Because what you don't want to do is try and take this game deep and try and win it on the 20th over. You need to try and finish it by the 17th, 18th over if you can as a team.
So there's a trick that analysts use with teams, especially in chases like this. It wouldn't work as much in a bilateral series, but basically what you say is for net run rate, it's always better to win in the 18th over.
Yeah.
It's not. It is true, but it's not why we tell them that.
Yeah.
So that the games don't get down to the last over.
Yeah.
It's the first thing you start with is you're just like, yeah, it's always better if we win by the 18th, guys. So let's start. We actually need this much per over, not this much per over. Anyway, Jofra Archer, back-to-back games. Coming into the wicket, length outside off stump. Shanto gave himself some room there. Wasn't sure what was going to come. Maybe expecting the back of a length ball. Instead, it was full. Timed beautifully, but straight to cover, no run.
And also, we've discussed this often in the franchise cricket. Teams start thinking about the net run rate halfway through the season, and that's where they mess it up. Why don't you start thinking it from the very first game? If you have an opportunity, why wouldn't you take it in the first game? But halfway through the season, suddenly they'll panic. Oh my God, we need to make our net run rate better. You could have done it 7 games before.
Back of a leg. This keeps a little bit low, actually. Shanto expected that to be above the stumps and ends up riding it like he's riding a rodeo or a bucking bronco who's gone down low on him. And he squeezes this down to third, and they take a single. Moves on to 2. Roney is on strike. He's 6 from 7.
Yeah, Jofra Archer. Every time you watch this man bowl, he excites you. He must excite every fast bowler. I mean, he makes it ridiculously look easy to come and bowl at 150 kilometers an hour, which isn't easy. If you played cricket and you were a fast bowler, you would know how difficult that is to do.
Short, slow, pulls this away. Doesn't get a lot of it, does Roney, and it's going to go out to Duckett. They think about 2, but there's only 1 there. I don't know, fast bowling looks pretty simple to me. I'm not sure why everyone complains about it. Alex Shute is clearly not listening.
Yeah, only if it was that easy. But yeah, what has really impressed me, again, going back to this game, is how comfortable Rooney has been against fast bowling, against short bowling, with the likes of Jofra Archer and Mark Wood.
137 kilometres, that last one. So Jofra hasn't got full pace here. This is back of the length. This is what Shanto expected the last one to do. Just bounce, hit the splice, and he could guide it down to third easily for a single. I think part of Lytton Das's problem is the fact that he's only put sunscreen on one side of his face.
Yeah, it doesn't look very good, does it? He's forgotten to put any sunscreen on his left cheek. He's only gone down his nose to the offside. Yeah, to his...
It just shows you he's not seeing it well.
Yeah. Yeah, probably he isn't. But Shanto is. He's out there batting on 3 of 5 deliveries. A lot will depend on how he bats and how this partnership shapes. But they need a partnership of just 30 or 40 runs. That should see them through.
Slight delay here. I think we might see some short bowling at Roney because I think they put 2 fielders back. Archer comes in again. Oh, well, if he was expecting a short one, he backed away, and somehow that has beaten him between his pads and leg stump. That's really the sort of thing you see a tail ender do. But I think he was just expecting the short one, and when it was full, he was absolutely nowhere near it, and that is about as bad a shot as you will see an opening batter in international cricket play.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how that ball missed the stumps or the bails. It was so very close, but didn't play particularly well. Roney, I was just praising him that he looks very comfortable against the fast bowling.
Backed away again here, and this time Jofra follows him, hits his pads, balloons up to short fine leg, and they take a leg by. So it could have been the double bluff from England that got in Roney's mind a little bit there, because I think they put both fielders back, expected the short ball, instead he got 2 full straight ones. Didn't play either of them particularly well. He's 7 from 10. Shanto is 3 from 5. Target is 118. Need almost exactly 6 runs and over from here on in. And they were all out, India. I was wrong because I forgot Shreyas Iyer couldn't come into bat because of his back injury.
Yeah, he's got a back injury. He's gone for a scan.
So India were all out for 571 from 178.5 overs. So just 91 run lead. So that game's interestingly poised. As I said, tomorrow morning, as you're getting ready in the morning, you can follow that here on TalkSport 2.
If India can get a couple of wickets tonight, it can make the game really, really interesting. But at the moment, the game is interesting in Mirpur because Bangladesh, after 4 overs, 21 for 1. Sam Curran bowling his 3rd over here. He's got a deep square leg and a deep mid wicket. Every fielder on the offside is inside the 30-yard circle.
Yeah, 5 fielders in the ring on the offside, and that's where he's bowled it, but it's hoiked away on a pull shot. One bounce out to Phil Salt on the boundary, and Phil Salt was a little upset with himself. I think he thinks he had a half a chance there of a catch, and he pulled out maybe slightly too early. Sam Curran looked a little frustrated as well. It was short. It was a cutter again. It was outside off stump, but Roney had decided he was going to the leg side no matter what, and let's have a look. I think he might have pulled out too early, but I don't think Salt would have got to it anyway.
Yeah, I wouldn't have got to it. It would have been an outstanding catch if you would have gone close to that. Delivery was just dropping 4 or 5 yards short of Phil Salt. But again, the change in field, the same sort of a field, because the left-hander on strike now, Shanto, has got a deep square leg and a deep mid-wicket. He's going to go short. He's going to go cutters into the body of Shanto. And that's exactly what Shanto would be expecting here as well.
Cutter, leg stump. Just flicked around the corner by Shanto, and he's going to get 1. No, he's going to come back for 2. Good running. Ben Duckett. I don't know if Ben Duckett has a weak arm, but every time they've hit the ball anywhere near him, they've tried to take 2 so far, and this time they got 1.
Outstanding running between the wicket. Great understanding between these two. And look at the intent I've been talking about, that they look very hungry. They want to win this game and seal the series. Don't want to go 1-all in the 3rd game. But at the moment, they are in well course for it. Looking good. Bangladesh.
Short, slow, pulled away by Shanto, but easily out to deep backward square, and they take a 1 run. 25 for 1.
Yeah, with that sort of a pace, you can really control your shot, where you want to hit it. Do you want to go aerial? Do you want to go along the ground? Do you want to go behind square? But the ball is stopping on the pitch slightly, and hence it's making a bit difficult for the batters to control as well as they would have liked. But still, I don't think there is any worry for the batters against Sam Curran. He's bowling around 124, 125 kilometers an hour.
Curran comes in again. This outside off stump. Slower again. Roney again struggles with that as it goes through the keeper as he tries to hoik that away, while a Bangladesh fan slowly strokes his tiger.
Yeah, this time not rolling his wrist over, not rolling his finger over, going straight with the seam. Sam Curran just changing and chopping and changing it quite nicely, mixing it up, keeping the batsman guessing at all times so far.
Curran 1 for 13. Short at Roney. Picks this up nicely, but unfortunately for him, hits it straight to Phil Salt. Along the ground, takes another one. 117 kilometres an hour. Not a lot of pace from Sam Curran, even by Sam Curran's standards so far today.
Again, I just feel that Rooney can wait a bit longer, try and hit it slightly behind the square, because there is a short fine leg fielder, there's a deep square leg fielder. There are plenty of gaps.
Shanto, he's on 6 from 7. Last ball, the 5th over. Short, too short, probably. Yes, definitely wide call. He certainly put his back into that one, Sam Curran, and it just ballooned. We have seen a couple of balls just bounce a little bit higher on the surface, and that was certainly one of them.
Yeah, just the poor execution. Thought was there, but just couldn't execute it. Bend his back a bit too much and way over Shanto's head. No trouble for the umpire to raise their arms.
Curran, good lack of length ball, top of off stump. Shanto sort of makes a bit of a meal of it as he defends this. Back down the wicket. There's no run there. 27 for 1 after 5 overs here on Talk Sport 2. Abhishek Janjanwala is going to have a spell. I will leave as well, and I'll leave you in the incredibly capable hands of Alex Shooter and also Andrew McKenna.
Cheers, Jared. 27 for 1 after 5. Jude, we need you to come in off your long run, mate, and we need a spell from you here, I'm afraid. Well, England do anyway. Let's not pretend we're being impartial on this one. Yeah, not really happened so far. 91 needed from 90 balls. Bangladesh to go 2-0 up and take this 3-match series. Jofra Archer then. Oh, Ronnie Talakdar has got underneath this one and he's caught. Jude strikes first ball. Moeen Ali takes the catch. In fairness, Ronnie Talakdar has been trying to get out that way for most of his innings so far, and he obliges in the end. Jofra Archer, it's a slower ball into the pitch. He's gone on the pull and gets it about 15 metres Moeen Ali was running away from the playing surface, takes it over his shoulder, takes the catch, and Bangladesh are 27 for 2.
Well, you ask, Macca, and you get the captain asks. You ask for a spell from the big man, and he's got one. First ball. Jofra Archer. He's looking good. That's one of the positives that's come from England. He's getting miles in his legs, and he's looking good. A slow cutter, that sort of leg cutter ball coming on the right-hand side of the ball. And Ronnie just didn't get any piece of that you like. Just scooped up to Moeen Ali. Easy catch over his right shoulder. Bangladesh 27 for 2.
Ronnie Talakdar makes 9 from 14. Tawid Ridoy is the new man who comes to the crease. He's a youngster, Ridoy, relatively new to this form of the game. It's only his second T20 international. 24 from 17 in the first game. He comes to the crease. Well, I think they'll get another pretty quickly. They might just send a few wobbles through that home dressing room. Jofra Archer's got 1 for 3. In he comes, right arm over. It's Ridoy on the thigh pad. No run. Archer fields himself in his follow through, and again, just starting to get that rhythm and getting a bit of zip on the ball as it goes down.
Yeah, just mixing his pace very well. Seen bolt up right there, just tailing back into the young man Ridoy. Hitting him on his thigh pad. As I said, Archer's looking good. Getting the miles in the legs, so important for England moving forward.
4 in a ring on the offside as Archer goes in. This one is armpit height. Ridoy rides the bounce, gets it down to backward of square leg. Duckett has had to run all the way from the boundary to the edge of the 30-metre circle. Does so and keeps it to a single, 28 for 2.
To be fair, Macca, the dimensions of the pitches now, it's not actually that far, but he's got little legs and he's having to do a stint out there. He's been busy. They've been trying to run twos to him. He's very quick across the floor. He's got a good arm, hence why he's out there.
Yeah. Shanto waiting. Oh, he gets a brutal cutter from Archer. That's basically a quick off spinner that he's bowled over the wicket. It grips in the surface. Shanto pulls his head back away from it as it took off and goes past him, sort of nipple height. Bounces a second time through to the keeper, but no run.
Yeah, that's delicious bowling from Jofra. He really does have a bag of tricks. Why he's sought after of franchise cricket. If you can bowl 90 plus, but also do that, bowl Yorkers, bowl a bouncer, the batters find it hard to pick up.
Archer goes in again. What's this one? This is pace on, and it just beats backward point and away for 4. It was aerial from Shanto. And Archer, well, he bowled the previous one slower. He goes pace on with that one. And Shanto, it'll go into the scorebook as 4, and it was timed off of the middle of the bat, but it was not far away from the fielder at backward point, wide gully. It's Moeen Ali, in fairness. It's one of those that if it hits your hands, it might stick because it's going that quickly. But it was aerial, 32 for 2.
It was aerial, but only the fielder there could only wave that on. That was going with tremendous power and speed. It was a good shot.
Final ball of the power play then. Jofra Archer in, right arm over, and again it's an off-spinning cutter. No run as it's dropped into the offside by Shanto. So the Bangladesh power play is done, 32 for 2. England, after 6 overs, were 50 for 1. But unfortunately, the middle and lower part of the innings was blown away. If you are just joining us, England were put into bat by Bangladesh and were been bowled out for 117. There were 16 for 1 when David Malan was out. Moeen Ali came in at number 3. Phil Salt was out halfway through the 7th over with a score 50 for 2. He'd made 25 and they end up 117 all out. Right, as soon as we get out the power play, Moeen Ali is into the equation with his off spin. So England straight away go to that. Is there a case that actually it should have been Rashid? I mean, I kind of, again, we've been talking about matchups, but actually Adil Rashid can get anyone in the world out pretty much. Moeen Ali starts off to the right-handed Ridoy, turned on the onside gently, no run.
Yeah, you'd think, you get your wicket taker on, and in Adil Rashid, you've definitely got that. He's in tremendous form. He's bowled really well over the last 3 or so years for England. It's been fantastic.
Moeen Ali goes in. On the reverse is Ridoy. It loops up in the air as if it came off something soft rather than bat, and I have to assume, as there's no signal from the umpire, it was glove, because it's given us a run. 33 for 2. Ridoy goes to 2.
Well, it was obviously the Bangladesh spinners that caused all sorts of trouble for the England players. So obviously Butler's hoping that his spin trio can do the same, and Ali, Rashid and the young Rayan Ahmed, will see him soon for sure.
Moeen Ali around the wickets to the left-handed Shanto, who waits and waits and waits, and then slaps it out to Sam Curran at the cover sweeper position. Single taken. So Shanto has 11 from 12. Bangladesh 34 for 2 here on TalkSport 2. Trying to make 118 to win this game. Ridoy waits. He sort of bends his knees and then turns the face of the bat closed on this one through square leg, and it will be a single. Ridoy goes to 3. Bangladesh 35 for 2.
It's definitely purchase Macca in this wicket. Maybe get a fielder in the close there. I know it's 2020, but you need wickets to win this game.
Moeen Ali goes in. Shanto goes on the reverse and beats Chris Wokes at short extra. It was one of those, he's hit it, it's bounced in front of Chris Wokes, and of course the cry normally goes up spin, and it's completely done him. He's Q-ended it, it grips on an old wicket, and Wokes is going to his left and the ball goes past him on the right.
It's always the second spin that does you, isn't it?
Single taken, 36 for 2. Moeen Ali goes in, Ridoy covers up this occasion, and there is no run. So 4 off of the over. 36 for 2 after 7. 82 needed from 78 balls. 20 past 11 this Sunday morning here on TalkSport 2. Don't forget, we've got Gallagher Premiership Rugby Union commentary coming your way. Kick-off 1 o'clock at Kingsholm for Gloucester against the Leicester Tigers. Alfie Reynolds and Matt Garvey on duty for that one. And they might get a bit more build-up time than they might have been imagining at one point, because this one looks like it might be over one way or other, fairly sharpishly. Golf, of course, following the rugby. Russ Hargreaves in the chair later on for that. And, of course, the Cheltenham Festival just a couple of days away. Every race of the festival will be live either here on TalkSport 2 or over on TalkSport. Well, if you say his name often enough, or say his name 3 times, he appears. Adil Rashid is into the attack. So, spin at both ends. Here we go then. Rashid to the left-handed. Shanto turns back into him. Takes it off of about middle and leg to Shanto. Works out to Salt at mid-wicket sweeper. Single taken, 37 for 2. 81 from 77 now.
Yeah, just be interested to see his bowling speeds on this wicket. Remember in the ODI series, he bowled extremely well, bowled it very slow. It was grip and turn. There's obviously purchase in this wicket. That first ball just at 46 miles an hour. It's be interesting just to see his speeds.
I think he was as slow as 44 from memory in the one-day international, wasn't he? Rashid goes in, and that is a looped-up leg break, and it's outside portion of the bat. Sam Curran at point will field. No run, but again, it was a little bit aerial. It's a short third, backward point, and short extra cover for Adil Rashid as he goes in. Bit of air. Ridoy drives back to the bowler in his follow-through. No run.
Really has been impressive over the years for England. In this format of the game, really has come to the fore for England.
Adil Rashid goes in and bowls a leg break that's taken from outside of off stump through mid-wicket. They've run the first one hard and they'll come back for a second pretty easily. Chris Jordan coming off the boundary at long on just had so much ground to make up there. He's never going to deny them 2. 39 for 2 it is after 4 balls of the 8th over.
And if he's not stopping a 2, there's not many in world cricket stopping, because he is lightning.
Rashid googly on this occasion to Ridoy, turns through square leg. That's pretty quickly out to Chris Wokes. Wokes returns to Joss Butler, and there's a single taken. Yeah, we mentioned about running hard, it's not the biggest. We had a 6-hit earlier today that was 65 metres from Lytton Das and was 10 metres over the rope. So there are pockets that are not the biggest. So if you get your fielders in the right place, you can cut it off. If they're even slightly out, it's boundary. Rashid goes in, that's well played by Shanto, just whipping him off of his toes, out to Sam Curran at square leg. Throw comes back into Joss Butler. 5 from the over as the single is taken. Bangladesh 41 for 2 after 8 overs here on TalkSport 2. So 77 needed from 72 balls.
And when chasing a total as low as England got today, there's no real hurry to really hit the boundaries. Just get your 1s and 2s, run hard between the wickets, and if the ball's in your hitting zone, you go for it. And they're going about this really nicely. Paul.
Yeah, Sam Curran's bowled 3, Works 1, Archer 2, and Moeen and Rashid 1 apiece. Moeen is going to come in for his second over, and Shanto comes down the pitch, doesn't really get all of it, gets it to long on, and it's just a single. And Shanto turns to Ridoy saying, hey, come on, that's got to be more than 1.
Yeah, it's poor running. Just closed the face, was trying to hit that sort of long off, dragged it to long on. Archer there at long on boundary.
Ridoy tries to make up for his previous running by having a huge swing to the leg side in Moeen Ali's next delivery. Gets in a bit of a tangle. It ends up going about 15 metres behind Joss Butler, and they manage to scamper a single before Rayan Ahmed can gather it back in. 43 for 2, 75 off 70 the equation. Shanto is on strike, so it's left-hand batter, so right arm around for Moeen Ali, pushed out quietly on the offside, no run, 75 from 69. Moeen Ali halfway through his second. In he comes again, round the wicket. Oh, it's a big turn on that occasion. Shanto is down on one knee trying to play the paddle sweep, and it's gone a foot past his bat in the end. I mean, it's a long way. Joss Butler's actually taken that reaching out to the side. Moeen Ali in again. Shanto has gone on the reverse, takes him on the glove, lands short of Rayan Ahmed, who can't prevent the single either. 44 for 2.
Nothing's going to hand for England here. Spinners are bowling well. We're not getting much luck. Tried a big reverse sweep coming off Santo's glove, popping over Butler's head.
Ridoy, the right-hander, is going to play the reverse and gets it through, well, basically through where slip would be, as Moeen is outside of off stump, and it's just a single, well fielded by Rayan Ahmed. So that's 2 overs for 8 for Moeen Ali. Bangladesh, well, they're almost at the halfway stage. England have got on with the overs, 9 gone, 45 for 2. They're trying to make 118 to win this game here on TalkSport 2 and close out this series.
Yeah, just, they're trying to get inventive with the reverse sweeps and sweeps. Obviously, they know there's a lot of purchase in this wicket. It really is quite abrasive as the ball lands. It's taken a puff of dust every time. So just trying to go on the sweep a little bit, not advancing down the wicket as some of the England batters did. And they found themselves stumped.
Rashid to start a new over. Oh, that's slightly short. It's sat up a little bit, and Ridoy has hoiked it out to deep mid-wicket. Duckett will field. Just a single. 46 for 2.
Yeah, magic puff of dust as this landed. It just sort of stuck a little bit, and he had to really wait on it, hit it sort of well in front of square, that deep mid-wicket region.
Adil Rashid goes in once again. That's on the leg stump of Shanto for the left-hander. Clips it to Jofra Archer at long on. Single taken. 47 for 2. Now 21 balls since a boundary, but of course they don't need to. Pushing singles wins it. And if you get a filthy one, then put it away. Rashid. Right arm gives that one plenty of air. Ridoy slaps it back over his head. and it's a one bounce 4. I think it's very close to the boundary sponge. Either way, it's a boundary that brings up the Bangladesh 50. It is signalled as 4. They're 51 for 2 halfway through the 10th.
Yeah, he got a little bit of length on that one. Went up and straight. Dil Rashid giving it a little bit more flight. One bounce, just bouncing in front of, I call him the Toblerone.
Right, they have had a quick check, and it is indeed 4. So Ridway has 13 from 14. Rashid gives him a similar ball, actually. Similar error, and says, well, do you fancy doing it again? And Ridway says, no, thank you very much. I'll just push this one back down the pitch to run.
That's what batters are looking for now, though. Anything with length. They go up and over. Straight back over the bowler's heads. Good cricket shot.
Rashid again gives it this one some air. Ridway backs away to the leg side, goes inside out and splits the gap between the extra cover sweeper and the long off sweeper and gets himself a boundary 4. 55 for 2.
Good cricket shot. Again, Adil Rashid going for some flight. Ridway sort of stepping a little bit of leg side to get it up and over extra cover. Very good cricket shot. Never any fielders out there. Piercing the man at deep point boundary.
Final ball of the first half, and it's loopy but landing in and around the crease line, and Ridway can't time that one. So after 10 overs, Bangladesh 55 for 2. At the power play there were 32 for 2, so 21 without loss in that second, if you like, 4-over stint to get them out to the halfway stage. At the halfway stage, England was 63 for 4 and 117 all out in the end. So Bangladesh slightly behind that, 8 runs worse off, but 2 wickets better off. 63 needed, therefore, from 60 to take this series here on TalkSport 2. Alex Tudor and myself, well, we did our best. We got a bit of wicket action for you. Let's see if Jared Kimber and Abhishek Junjunwala are slightly more successful.
Thanks, Macca. Yeah, 63 off 60. Both batters on 17. Reminder that we'll bring you even more international cricket tomorrow here on TalkSport 2 with the ball-by-ball commentary of Day 5 between India and Australia. Australia have sent Matt Kuhneman out as a night watch, which is Alex Tudor's favourite position in cricket. I was talking about that off air before, how he said all bowlers should have to be forced to do it once, is how I remember him saying it. Matt Kuhneman joins Vinu Mankat, I think, as someone who's opened the batting and opened the bowling in the same match. But they haven't lost a wicket yet, Australia. So remember, early tomorrow morning, 3:30 a.m, we'll be on for that one. There's also Gallagher Premier action. Gloucester are hosting the Leicester Tigers, and that'll be following this second T20 this afternoon. And there's Cheltenham, just 2 days away from the start of the Cheltenham Festival, with every race from the Jumps Festival across TalkSport Network from Tuesday afternoon. You can get in touch with us too on cricket_TS or at TalkSport2. But just having a drinks break, fruit break, as they often do. Packed crowd. The crowd looked like they were trying to get in early on. I'd say the game started with about 40% crowd, but that was mostly because most of the people were outside the stadium trying to get into the 3 turnstiles that looked open. It looks pretty close to full to me now as we pan around the grounds here. Certainly there's been a lot more action at these games in Mirpur than we saw in Chattogram, where we did struggle to get anyone in. Just seeing Shanto's attempts to play the reverse sweep. Attempts are probably the right word so far. Maybe his most successful reverse sweep was the one accidentally to cover.
Yeah, that's been the most successful so far. He got some sort of a bat. Apart from that, it's been gloves or every other things.
Rehan Ahmed comes into the attack. Leg spinner, off stump, straightens. Pushed into the gap at mid-wicket. They think about 2. Shanto thinks about 2. Ridway does not. And Rehan Ahmed stops that for just 1 run. And Rehan Ahmed, just for his... realises he's in international cricket and is instantly told off for throwing the ball into the ground.
And, I mean, it's a ploy. We know that. We do it all the time. You want to get the ball a bit softer so that it's harder for the batters to hit, and especially when there's going to be so many spinners operating.
Is he actually getting an official warning from the umpire? The umpire's come all the way over to him now. Very, very interesting, because he was told and he sort of walked away saying, yeah, I get what you're saying here. And it just looks like the umpire was coming over to say, no, you cannot throw the ball into the ground like that. Short, wide, terrible, and out. It got stuck in the wicket. It spun away. Rudoy saw a short, wide one outside of stump and went, I'll hit this for 4. Instead, he's got a top edge to his cut shot, and it's gone to point and about what's it, Rayan Ahmed's first wicket in international T20. It may also probably end up being one of his worst, but he'll take it.
That's the beauty of leg spin. You get most wickets with the filthiest of deliveries, and that's exactly what happened. It was a short, it was wide, the batter could have hit it anywhere, tried to overhit it, tried to hit it too hard, and got a top edge straight to the point fielder. But leg spinners do that. They get a lot of wickets with full tosses, they get a lot of wickets with short deliveries. But at the end of the day, it's a good start for Rayan Ahmed. First ever international T20 wicket for him. He'll remember that moment for the rest of his life. But for Bangladesh,
he'll remember that moment for the rest of his life. He won't show people the footage.
Yeah, he wouldn't share the footage, but he would remember that for the rest of his life. But for Bangladesh, I think it's going to be a difficult chase here, Jared. I wouldn't be surprised if England can pull this through, because if Hassan Mirza gets out here, then you've got Shakib. There's not a lot of batting to come. They need a partnership desperately here.
Well, this is a big surprise. Mahdi Hassan coming out to bat at number 5. I'm not sure. Is it a left-hand, right-hand for Shakib, perhaps? I mean, he's not a batter. He's at best a bowler who's made some runs recently. He's a step away from being an all-rounder. Just that Rudoy was absolutely filthy, as he should be, getting out to that ball. Mahdi faces this. It's the wrong one. It's outside of stump. It's another short one. It's pulled away, though, straight to long on. And Chris Jordan throws it back in. Not quite got his length yet, Rayan Ahmed.
We've seen that in the previous game as well, that he tends to bowl more googlies than the leg spin. I think he doesn't have that much confidence or control with his leg spinners, and he bowls a lot of short deliveries.
This is full outside off stump. Punch down to long off for 1. Well, I think the first 2 were leg spinners, and the next 2 have been wrong ones, haven't they? So that's, as you said, that's what we've seen. And I don't know if we have too much Hawkeye analysis on him yet, but I think even anecdotally, he clearly bowls more wrong-uns in white ball cricket than he does.
Yeah, absolutely. In the last one day, he bowled, I remember, an over where he bowled 5 googlies in an over to a right-hand batter, and you would expect a leg spinner to try and take the ball away from the right hand and not bring the ball into him. But I think he just has more control and more confidence with that.
Good leg spinner, this one, on off stump. Spins and bounces, but it's just tucked into the gap. They think about 2. It's Phil Salt coming in to make sure. Rayan Ahmed again. He's all over the place, Rayan Ahmed. He's been to mid-wicket. He's been to cover. He will field any ball to stop runs. Oh, no, he wasn't warned for throwing the ball in wrong. He was warned for running on the danger zone, which I think he's also done a couple of times before early on in his career. And this ball is on middle and leg and turned out to deep square. They think about 2. There's only 1 there. So I would assume, because the umpire came over and was so emphatic, that was his official warning.
Yeah, official warning, probably, yeah. If he does it once more, he won't be able to bowl in this game anymore. He's just got to be careful. And again, having a word, the umpire is still having a word with him, because he's very close to that danger zone. You're not allowed to step in to the danger zone. But again, going back to the point about Rayan Ahmed, we made him last time as well about his front arm, Jared. I still think that at some point in time he'll have to sit down with the coach or somebody more experienced and work on that front arm, because his front arm drops too early, and hence he bowls that many short deliveries, in my opinion.
Yep. Also, it helps him. Dropping your front arm helps you bowl more wrong-uns. If he gets a strong front arm, he might actually just have a better leg spinner, and so he doesn't have to rely on the googlies as much. Adil Rashid coming in. This is the googly on leg stump. Swept well by Shanto, but straight to Sam Curran out on the boundary, and they just take 1. 61 for 3 after 11.1 here. Shanto's on 21 off 24. Mahdi Hassan, the surprise player, put up the order. He's from 2 so far. Usually, past, used to bat at 9, 10 and 11. He's now at 5. We saw Mustafiza was listed at number 8 last game, so they're they're pushing their batting line up a little bit. This is full on off stump and just moves this into the leg side, and they just get one. We saw in the last game as well, it was very top heavy batting, and they've gone with it again. And probably that might even be another reason they brought Mahidi Hassan back in, because at least he has some batting.
No, he can bat. Yeah, he picked the googly on that occasion very nicely, which not many people can against Adil Rashid. He does get a lot of wicket with his googly. Very sensibly played. Just a little flick on the onside for a single.
Outside off stump, spinning away from the left-hander, flicked into the gap, and they just get one. So far, these two are running between the wickets like one of them is a specialist batter and one is not. There's a lot of talking, there's a lot of attitude, but there's not a lot of proper communication. Probably should have been two there. Another single. Mahidi is on 3 from 3.
Yes, Shanta wanted a couple there.
Slow leg spinner, but it's outside leg stump by Adil Rashid. Full, and it was well taken by Joss Buttler, but it's going to be called for a wide.
There's option for a paddle. He could have easily picked up 4 runs with a paddle sweep, hitting it quite fine off that short fine leg fielder.
It was slow enough, he could have made that decision late as well. This is a better ball though, middle and leg, and turned onto the leg side. Again, Mahidi Hassan has a definite run there. There was absolutely no way Adil Rashid was going to get out to mid-wicket, pick the ball up, turn around and run him out. But Mahidi Hassan says no, so they've lost a couple of extra runs just because Mahidi is not as confident with running between the wickets. But he's still there. Big leg spinner, and it's almost chipped back off the leading edge. He tries to flick this on the leg side. It was slower, it spun, and he got the leading edge, but it went about a metre short of Adil Rashid.
Yeah, you can sense that there's a lot of pressure, a lot of tension going on in between, in the middle. He's trying to play against the spin against Adil Rashid, not the best of option.
Massive fly on the shoulder as well as he gets a wrong in the air on middle stump. Not sure he picked that one, Abhishek, because he went the other way. He thought it was going to spin to the offside. He ended up missing leg stump by 1.5 feet. Shanto's come down to have a word because he does look like a cat on a hot tin roof.
He does, yeah.
He looks like Sam Curran looked when he came up the order in that one day where doesn't know how to find a single. This is outside of stump. He pushes at the slow leg spinner and it ends up in Josh Butler's gloves. It was a beautiful delivery. Slowed it down, wide of off stump. That was exactly what he wanted, was to beat him outside off stump, but he's probably hoping that Mahidi came down. But a few top balls there at the end of the over. Unfortunately for Adil Rashid, he gave away a couple of wides in between them. Shanto's on 22. And Bangladesh need 53 or 48 here on TalkSport 2, Jared Kimber and Abhishek Janjanwala.
Yeah, still, 53 or 48. 9 out of 10 times they should be able to get this quite easily. But just the way England is bowling, the way the ball's turning, and with their lower order being quite light, I think there is a good opportunity for England.
Rayan comes in, leg spinner, outside off stump, spins back just a little bit, punch to deep point, they take one. Well, the interesting thing is that we said in the last game that all England needed to do was get a couple more wickets and put pressure on them. They've got the amount of wickets to put the pressure on them now.
Yeah.
Bangladesh have obviously, they've taken a chance really, by moving Mahidi Hassan up so they have the right hander, leaving Shakib back. This is short, tries to pull this, he sort of mangles this ball down to long on off a pull shot. Hi to the TalkSport fans. Score is 67 for 3 here as Bangladesh are edging their way towards a victory, but they've lost a couple of wickets. They don't have a very strong tail. They still have their captain Shakib Al Hassan left to come. They've sent up a tail ender. This is a wrong and outside leg stump and spins back in towards the pads of the left-handed Shanto, who flicks this out to Ben Duckett. And they take one. Ben Duckett has fielded 74% of the balls, if I'm counting correctly.
Wow. Well, see again the point we were making about him bowling short. He's bowled 3 deliveries in this over, and all 3 has been a short delivery. He's not bowled a single delivery fuller to the batter.
He bowls this one fuller to the batter. It's a leg spinner as well. Abhishek Janjanwala, former IPL player, pleading for that delivery, and it gets an edge straight away, and it's almost caught at cover.
Nearly got a wicket with that delivery, and that's why you have to bowl full.
This is full again, and it's swept by Shanto. Gets it fine, but there's a fielder back there, Sam Curran. And they just take one. 69 for 3. Ben Duckett's on one boundary, Sam Curran's on the other boundary, and it feels like a game of ping pong between the two of them, the amount of balls that have gone out there.
He's bowled a good leg spinner, got an outside edge, again went to the googly the very next delivery.
Another googly outside leg stump. He almost drags us back onto his stumps to Shanto. He sweeps it. It ends up going almost between Butler's legs. They're going to go for 2. There should have been 3 there. Mehdi Hassan again. You can actually hear that was Shanto screaming back at Mehdi Hassan, going, "Why are you not running?" I don't know. I'm assuming that was in Bangla, but I understood it in cricket speak to be, "Come on, mate. We need to start putting some pressure on them in the field."
Absolutely. I think that was poor running. There was definitely 3. They should have run a lot better. Shanta looking absolutely spent out there. It is hot with the high humidity, around 35 degrees, so not easy to play in those conditions. They are just having a little water break.
71 for 3 after 13 overs. The required run rate is 6.71. England are going to need a couple more wickets if they are going to get back in charge. But at the moment, Bangladesh are in front in this game. So after 13 overs, England were 84 for 4. But this is kind of when they had their big slowdown. Also, they play in a very different style than Bangladesh. Bangladesh is that grit and grind sort of style. They chip away at these sorts of totals. Mehdi Hassan is 5 off 9. It's the strike rate that is the problem for him so far, because he will eventually find boundaries, but it's the dot balls, and he comes down the wicket, and this is just beautiful. He will eventually find boundaries. He's found one just over Longoff's hand here. He comes inside and out. Longoff did very well to get around to that and almost pull off a catch on the boundary, but a beautiful strike by Mehdi Hassan. He's taken that for 6, struggled to get singles, but the boundaries he still has.
Yeah, that's a great footwork. Very, very good option as well. Going with the spin, going over extra cover, and got enough to get it up and over the long off fielder.
Oh, this spins a long way. It's a bit shorter from Adil Rashid. And what a terrible throw. I didn't see who that was. It was one of the left-handed fielders. I think it was Sam Curran. He's thrown it in between. It wouldn't have been a run out anyway, but now who was that? Was that Jofra down on the boundary? Yeah.
Archer.
Don't think any fielder, even Chris Jordan wouldn't have got that. I don't think there's any fielder in the world that would have got to that one, the catch. Shanto, 3 men out on the leg side boundary as he faces Adil Rashid. He goes for the sweep. They've appealed for that, won't be out. Adil Rashid, Joss Butler and Andrew McKenna all full-throated in their appeal. But I think that has struck him just outside the line. Might be coming back to hit the stumps, but I'm not even sure it was. What do you think?
I think that might be out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that hit him in line with the stumps. That's what I thought when I saw it first.
Interesting.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
I thought he just got himself outside the line. It's pitched outside off stump. Oh, it's hit him in the groin, left groin. It could be umpire's call on off stump. So we might both have been there. They're just having a look to see if there's any bat on that one.
Yeah, I just feel it's going to show that it's hitting him in line. We'll just have to wait and see. It's very close. No gloves,
Doesn't
no
hit
bat.
it, no gloves, yeah. So I think the umpire's got there on that. Just depends on that angle. It looks like to me it's going to be umpire's call on off stump. It's just because how far he's across. Do you see? Because you can see the outside of leg stump just slightly there. So it pitches 2 inches outside off stump, and it hits him. Umpire's call on off stump. And I think it was a fair review by England. I had no problem with that, but I always thought that they were pushing that one just because Shanto had shuffled across enough. But it wasn't a bad decision at all. And the Bangladesh fans seem to appreciate.
Straight away you can see a smile and a relief on Umpire's face. He's like, thank God.
Well, it's when the batter moves around the crease when you usually see the most mistakes by umpires. No, I think that was a good decision. Also, good delivery though. This is flatter outside off stump. He gives himself room. Shanto tries to cut this away, ends up in Joss Butler's gloves.
Just trying to hit it a bit too hard. If you see that occasion, he could have easily timed it for a single, but really wanted to hit it hard.
Yeah, more of a slider, that one. A little bit of leg spin action on it. Or just a little bit quicker off the surface. Big loopy leg spinner, and he's missed this. Everyone has missed this. You can hear the crowd cheering. That is spun back, somehow missed the stumps, and it's gone for 4 byes. And Joss Butler can't believe it in a low-scoring game. Big mistake from him, but a beautiful, slow, loopy leg spinner. Just pitching outside leg stump. It spins, it bounces, it misses middle stump, and it misses Joss Butler.
Yeah, Joss Butler should have got it. That's a very regular delivery from a leg spinner. Outstanding delivery. But as a keeper, that's a regular delivery for you. You should have got your hands to it.
Last ball of this over. Same kind of delivery, but this time Shanto gets on top of it, drops it on the leg side, wants 2. This time there isn't 2, so Mehdi Hassan is right. 83 for 3 at the end of 14. Shanto 27 off 32. Mahdi Hassan now 12 off 11 with that 6 off Rashid, getting him back into it. So Josh Butler, it's the same problem he's always has as a wicketkeeper. He thinks he would hit that, so he's expecting the batter to hit it, and at the last minute, because he's got such fast hands, he tries to get it, but that ball was just fizzed so much that there was no way he's going to catch up to it.
Yeah, his hands were too low. He didn't get his hand up at the right time, but it was a wonderful delivery. It's a dream sort of a delivery for a leg spinner against a left-hand batter.
Got to be unlucky as that spinner in Bangladesh to spin one over the top of the stumps.
And that has happened quite a few times, actually. There's been a bit of bounce and pace on few of the surfaces, but he's just so good at the moment. Adil Rashid, one of the best leg spinners in world cricket.
Moeen Ali bowls short at the pads of Shanto. Gets inside this, flicks it out to deep mid-wicket. Out to the UCSI University Bangladesh campus sign on the boundary. I mean, we've said so much about Mr. White detergent powder. I think we need to mention some of the other sponsors.
Yeah, this is going to be a very easy game for Bangladesh now, it seems. 34 of 35. They shouldn't be losing from here, really.
See if Moeen Ali can get some dot balls to Mahdi Hassan, who I think will attack him. He does. He comes down the wicket. He could not have telegraphed that more if he'd sent a WhatsApp message when Moeen Ali was at the top of his mark. Moeen Ali had enough time to decide what he wanted. He went quicker and shorter, and Mahdi just defended it nowhere in the end. That was so telegraphed. You've got to leave later. That was certainly a bowler pretending to be a batter. This time he moves across the sweep. I like this better. The slog sweep across the line, and that has gone for 6, right over Sam Curran's head. I think that's a better option for Mahdi Hassan. Also, he picked that up perfectly and just got it over the boundary for 6. Big hit.
I was just going to say, next ball he's going to try and slog it, because that's the better option, going with the spin. Just go over deep mid-wicket or cow and beautifully hit. Yes, Moeen Ali bowled a bit fuller. He shouldn't have.
Comes across the crease this time, but this time it's a little bit shorter. Mahdi Hassan looking for 2 this time. Oh, terrible throw into the dirt. Umpires have cannot allow that. He threw that a foot in front of him into a patch of dirt, but they just get 1 anyway. Partnership 35 of 28. You'd have to say, even if it hasn't always worked, the pinch hitting Mahdi Hassan, the 2 6s has made it work.
It made a massive difference.
Moeen Ali around the wicket, reverse sweep for Shanto, gets this over the 2 fielders. I'll let the Bangladesh crowd tell you how that goes. Couple of bounces for 4. Bangladesh well on top here. If England don't get a wicket in the next 3 or 4 balls, cannot see how they are going to get anywhere near this game. Off the toe, didn't middle it, but gets it away.
A lovely shot. Again, a very good option. Great game awareness. Moeen Ali going with the spin with that reverse sweep there. Shanto, he's been outstanding in the last couple of T20 matches. He's batted beautifully. And again, 32 of 34.
Slows this down. Beautiful off-spinning delivery. Spins, it bounces, it beats the outside edge. The end of the 15th over, 95 for 3. Shanto, 32 of 35. Mahdi Hassan, 19 of 14. Moeen Ali's 3 overs have gone for 20. The most important thing here is for England is wickets, because Bangladesh need 23 of 30. If the ball is soft, it shouldn't be that easy. Having said that, Mahdi Hassan, who's usually a number 8, has come in and hit a couple of big 6s off the spinners. They only really need 2 more big hits, and this should be over for Bangladesh. They still have Shakib Al Hassan left. Here at TalkSport 2, we have Alex Tudor and Andrew McKenna left.
Cheers, Jared. 23 off of 30. That's the equation. As Jared said, 2 more boundaries here probably finishes it up. England need wickets. They've used 6 bowlers so far. Sam Curran 1 for 15 from 3. Chris Rokes' 1 over has cost 7. 2 overs, 1 for 8 for Jofra Archer. 3 overs for 20 from Moeen Ali. Adil Rashid is bowled out. 4 overs for 28. Rayan Ahmed 1 for 11 from 2. Well, if you're bowled out of 1 world-leading bowler, Adil Rashid, you turn to your other world-leading bowler, Jofra Archer. 1 for 8 he's got so far. Ronnie Talakda was the man he dismissed, and he is on his way, right arm over to the right-handed Mahdi, who is backing away and gets a thick inside edge down to David Malan at deep backward square leg. Precisely 180 degrees from where he was actually aiming it is where it ended up, but it all counts 1 the same. 96 for 3.
Yeah, he needs something magical from Archer here. There's Butler in the England team. As you said, Rashid done for. 4 overs for 28. Bowled quite nicely. A lot of purchase, not much luck. I think I would have liked a little bit more the attacking fielding positions. Get your slip in, maybe get a man in front as well. I know it's not a sort of normal T20 field, but you need wickets, and the wicket definitely was conducive for a lot of spin.
Well, it's not a normal T20 game, is it? Archer in, bowling a off-break cutter. Shanto drops it into the offside. Adil Rashid does the fielding at backward point, no run. 22 from 28 the equation here on TalkSport 2.
Just think you've got to change it up a little bit. I think you needed wickets. I was downfounded to no Sam Curran early on, didn't have a slip in, and the ball went there. I think third ball. I think you need slips in. There's no way I'm bowling for brand new ball and I ain't got a slip in. No chance.
Half chances have to be taken. Full chances definitely have to be. Archer goes in. It's shortish. Absolutely hammered by Shanto to Salt, who's at deep mid-wicket. And it gets to Salt almost before he's actually had time to brace himself. But it's just a single. 97 for 3. 21 needed from 27.
He's hit that with a lot of velocity. I mean, that was a tremendous cricket shot. To hit Archer in front of square just shows you how early he picked it up. Kept it down. It went to the field extremely hard. Only 1 run.
Archer bowls a shortish ball. It's pulled looped up. Adil Rashid takes the catch. Mahady goes for 20. Is there an opening for England? 91 miles an hour pace on from Jofra Archer. And Mahady, it was just too big, too quick for him. He went on the pull. It went 10 metres at the very most. Rashid takes the catch, and Bangladesh are 4 down.
It's old-fashioned. The batsman's got rushed. Fantastic bowling from Jofra Archer. He stays so close to the wicket. High bowling action is so deceptive. A lot of batters around the world cannot pick up this shorter ball. 91 mile an hour, and they need a lot more of that. Andrew McKenna, they need a lot more. As you say, the captain strolls to the wicket. That's why you hear that noise. Shakib Al Hasan, fine player in this format of the game, all-round player, leading light for Bangladesh. He hasn't got much to do, but Jofra Archer's going to be gunning for him.
Yeah, even if it's going to be a short view, they wanted to at least have a view of Shakib Al Hasan. And here he comes then. He's had a decent series actually. 34 not out in the first game from 24 balls. His highest score actually against England, although they have only played once before the game on Thursday. So he's got an opportunity to be there as captain, finish things off. At least that's what he'll be thinking. Jofra Archer and England may have other ideas. 97 for 4 Bangladesh. 15 overs and 4 balls have gone down. They're only trying to make 118. It's 21 from 26 balls. It should be a walk in the park. It should be a Sunday walk in the park. But you know what? Cricket does funny things. England have got to slip in. Archer goes in. Man, that's quick. It's bounced through straight into Butler's gloves. Shakiba's had a big whoosh at that one. And the umpire simply says that is the one for the over. Did I just read that right on the speaker? Was that 94?
93, Macca. It had. I love your excitement on that one. That had some serious pace like fire.
That was properly quick, and on a pitch that isn't that quick. That was absolutely lightning from Archer.
This is why he's box office, ladies and gentlemen.
Here he comes, final ball of the over. That's a more regulation delivery. Shakib Al Hasan goes on the off drive straight to Wokes at mid-off. End of the over. 16 gone. 97 for 4 it remains. 21 from 24 now here on TalkSport 2.
And even if this goes wrong, and it looks like it's going that way for England, they lose the series, most importantly for me is that Archer is back playing, he's back bowling. We didn't quite know how he was going to come back from that elbow injury, but let me tell you, he is bowling with some serious pace. We saw it in the SA20, we saw it in the ODI in the 2 games he played, and we've seen it here so far. It's great to see, because we will need a fit and firing Jofra Archer if he's going to get through the Ashes. I don't know how many games he'll play, if any, because obviously he needs a lot more miles in the legs for Test cricket, but it's a great option for Ben Stokes to have up his in his armoury.
Well, we mentioned it earlier, it's the first time he's played back-to-back games since he's come back. So that's just a little nod as well. It's another little box ticked off. We were originally told that they didn't really want to play him back-to-back, but here you go. They've done it. Right. Moeen Ali to bowl his 4th over. 0 for 20 so far. He's going to be around the wicket to the left-handed Shanto. Shanto pushes into the offside. David Malan will cut it off. No run. 21 from 23, the equation. Shanto's got 33 from 38 balls so far. Moeen Ali around the wicket. Again, it grips, it bounces a bit. It's turned into the onside. They run the first hard. Are they coming for the second? They are coming for the second. 2 completed, 19 from 22. Bangladesh 99 for 4. I know this is a little bit club cricket, but I still would like England to have a man in the circle in front of square, because that's a little bit too easy for me, Shoots. Moeen Ali goes in, deep in his crease is Shanto, leaning backwards, hits out to Sam Curran, the cover sweeper, single taken.
Yeah, you're not stopping them from scoring their runs. The only way England win this is by taking the wickets. And as you rightly say, Macca, sometimes you've got to make the batters do something different, go over the top. You may be able to get, a missed shot, a mistake. But at the moment, it's just too easy just to knock the 1s and 2s. Fielders a little bit deep, trying to protect the boundaries, but boundaries is not what Bangladesh need at this stage.
Bangladesh have just brought up their 100, 2 balls quicker than England. 100 for 4 in 16 and a half overs. 18 needed from 21. Moeen Ali goes around the wicket. Shakib Al Hassan goes into out over the offside, but doesn't clear Jordan at mid-off. They were screaming and shouting for the Bangladesh captain a few moments ago. They're now screaming and shouting at the Bangladesh captain. He's holed out at long off, and England have another 5th wicket, and it's the experience. It's the captain, the guy who's seen it all before. Didn't need to play that shot, but did, and England might just be thankful. Bangladesh 100 for 5. Shakib Al Hassan goes for a 3-ball duck.
Yeah, he'd be disappointed with that. He was looking to go over extra cover, but he got a good portion of it. It went straight to any time in world cricket. You hit a ball in the air near to Chris Jordan, you walk off. He got absolute bucketer's hands, one of the safest hands in world cricket. An easy catch, which would have been difficult for a lot of us mere mortals. Gathers the ground extremely quickly, gets underneath it, safe pair of hands, and Shakib Al Hassan, as you can tell by the deafening silence of the stadium, has to depart as Asif Hussain comes into bat.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of an odd one. It's a specialist number 7, seemingly. He did bowl that 1 over. He's not really a bowler. It's odd to have a specialist number 7 in T20s, but here he comes. 18 from 20 needed. And he's there because the captain took it on and got it too low on the bat. If it had come off the middle, then it would have been clearing Chris Jordan quite easily. But it just hit a little bit low down, and he was absolutely filthy with himself, Shakib Al Hassan. Afif is another lefty. So it's still 2 lefties at the crease. Could England turn this around after being bowled out for 117? Moeen Ali around the wicket. It's a short one, it grips, it turns. Afif is actually in position too early and then has to wait for it. Plinks it into the onside and takes a single. He's underway. 101 for 5. 17 needed from 19.
See, I'd like a man come up on the leg side for the new batter. Make him go over the top. There's a lot of purchase in this wicket. He may nick one, may miss one.
And keep him on strike. Shanto is going to come forward to the final ball of the over, pushing into the offside. Single taken to Milan. And that's a clever piece of batting. Although it's the same result as what Afif just did, it keeps Shanto on strike for the first ball of the 18th over. 102 for 5 after 17. 16 needed from 18 balls. Realistically, if Shanto faces the majority of these balls, it feels like Bangladesh win.
He's looked impressive, hasn't he, Mac, in this series so far when he's come in. Young player, hasn't played a lot, of international cricket. But has looked assured, looks accomplished at the wicket. I mean, there was a silly run out, I think, when he got to 50 in one of the ODI games.
Yes.
So, you know, he's looked good, 37 from 41. And as you say, the equation for Bangladesh, just 16 needed from 18. But a fired up Jofra Archer's got 6 balls left, who's bowling with some serious pace.
Right, so that's Moeen Ali and Adil Rashid both bowled their 4. 1 for 25 for Moeen, 0 for 28 for Rashid. Here comes Archer, shortest ball. Shanto goes on the pull, gets it out towards mid-wicket. Phil Salt does the fielding, only a single. 15 from 17, and Afif, the new man, is straight away on strike. Archer 2 for 11 with 5 balls to go.
It's 90 miles an hour, and he's playing that well in front of square. He's picking up the ball extremely well. As you said, Archer, his shorter balls are quite hard to pick up. As you said, close to the wicket. There's not much change in his bowling action, stays nice and high. It just shows you Santo's picking up the ball extremely well, Macca.
He taps his bat a couple of times, stares at Jofra Archer as Archer comes in. He plays a lovely little late dab down to third, where David Malan does the fielding, and Bangladesh take a single. They need 14 from 16, 104 for 5.
I'm loving the follow through. Always look at a bowler's follow through, a fast bowler's follow through. He's just getting through the crease nicely. Generates so much pace from such a languid bowling run up. But the business end, when he's round the crease, just as he gets to the umpire, that brace front leg, hip action, high arm, that's where he generates his pace from.
He's on his way once again, past the umpire, in and bowls, tries to chop down on it, does Shanto, but only finds Adil Rashid at backward point, and there's no run. Just dawned on me, Chris Jordan's not bowled a ball yet. And, I mean, he is a death specialist, but can you ask him to come in and bowl one? I mean, he probably could if you wanted to. Or do you go with the guys who are loose? I mean, presumably he's going to come in and now bowl at the end where Moeen Ali just was, but it's a big old ask. That was ask, by the way. Archer for the 4th ball of the over. It's short, it's dug in. Shanto swings hard. Jordan will field at mid-on. Single taken only. 13 from 14, the equation, 105 for 5.
You say it's a massive ask, Macca. He'll certainly be warm, because it's warm in temperature, but he's also done a fair shift. He sort of goes from mid-on to mid-on. So he covers some ground, does Chris Jordan. But as you said, he hasn't bowled in a game so far, and asking him to bowl at the death is asking him to do so. He's not doing something that he hasn't done, but not having bowled a ball yet in the innings, it's a tall ask even for someone with that experience.
Well, can I tell you how warm it is? This might explain it better than anything else. The dignitaries have their own little balcony, and there's half a dozen chairs, including what is basically a throne, which is for the president of the board. They've actually moved indoors to the air-conditioned safety. So the president has decided 34 degrees and however many % humidity is too much for him. So they've gone indoors. Bangladesh need 13 from 14. Afif is on strike. 2 from 2 for him. Archer comes in for the ball and delivers it and knocks the stumps everywhere. Jofra Archer runs off, punching his fist. That one just shy of 92 miles an hour, and it was way too quick for Afif. And England, the door is properly open. Bangladesh 105 for 6. Afif beaten all ends up by pure pace from Jofra Archer. 105 for 6. 17 overs and 5 balls gone. Afif goes for 2 from 3.
Again, Archer, absolute box office. Got through the crease, great snap, and bowled extremely quick. That delivery, just as Macca said, just shy of 92 miles an hour, uprooting the stumps, and he was fired up because it's basically a runner ball. 13 from 13. He's bowled tremendously well here tonight. 3.5 overs, 3 for 13. He has definitely been a massive plus on this short tour, Macca, so far.
Well, Taskin Ahmed is the new man, and I think we're all fans of Taskin Ahmed. His batting record, he actually has a best of 15 not out, averaging just under 9 in T20s. But what he's actually got is basically one ball to survive. Because if he does that, it's the end of the over, and Shanto starts the new over. So he either gets 0 or something that's an even number. It's basically, Shanto's got to be on strike, surely.
Imagine now if England can pick up Santo, and then all of a sudden there's going to be a lot of nerves in that Bangladesh changing room. Archer with one ball left in his spell, fantastic spell of fast bowling, and it has been fast. A lot of balls well in exceeding of 90 miles an hour.
3 for 13. His best is 4 for 33. If he can pick up another wicket, it would be his best. Here we go then, around the wicket to Taskin. Short ball, quick. Taskin ducks underneath it. And I'm just waiting to make sure that the umpires aren't going to do anything daft like call a wide there, and they don't. Well, Archer finishes with 3 for 13. Bangladesh, the equation is now the runs are more than the balls. And we didn't think we'd be saying that at any stage, to be brutally honest, because it's 13 from 12. England bowled out for 117 from the final ball of their 20 overs. And England have made a real competition of this one here on TalkSport 2. Alex Tudor.
And they have, as Jofra Archer bowls his second best figures in T20 cricket, 3 for 13 with good hostility, a lot of clever bowling as well, mixing up his pace, a lot of cutters, but some extremely quick deliveries up to 92, 93 miles per hour has brung his team. And Josh Buttler back in the equation. And as you said, Macca, the captain's asked. Chris Jordan's going to be bowling his first over in the 19th.
Good luck, mate. As I believe Ted Lowe said to Cliff Thorburn for that 147 all those years ago. Right, the penultimate over, so often the most important, because it will set up what happens in the last over. England have got a short third, a backward point, cover and mid-off inside the circle on the offside. Sweeper out on the boundary as well at cover. Chris Jordan is going to be bowling to Shanto, the left-hander, who's got 39. Right arm over the wicket, he approaches the crease. It's in towards the hip pocket, swept round the corner. Rayan Ahmed won't get there, he goes for 4. Line just a little bit wrong from Jordan. He's trying to tuck up Shanto. In the end, he enabled him to free his arms. Bangladesh 109 for 6.
It's a massive ask, even with all that experience that Chris Jordan has, to ask him to bowl in the 19th. I was saying to myself, do not go for a boundary first ball. What happens? He goes for a boundary. It's the cutter, slower ball, 72 miles an hour on Santo's hip, who's in fantastic form, and he dispatches it. Rayan Ahmed had no chance down there, wide, fine leg, couldn't stop it. Chris Jordan, pressure's on.
9 from 11, the equation. Jordan on his way once again to Shanto. Again, he's gone a similar kind of place, trying to tuck him up. Shanto will flick it down to Rayan Ahmed. Rayan Ahmed fumbles down a fine leg. They come back for a second. 7 needed off of 10. 111 for 6. Rayan Ahmed went for the one-handed pick-up and throw to get it back in the air quickly. They'd actually run the first quickly, and then Shanto spotted the misfield and straight away said, we're coming back. And they get 2.
Yeah, just the inexperience of Rayan Ahmed there. As he went to pick up the ball, he was not looking, he was looking at a batter. He went with a one hand. Go for the 2 hands, young fella. But that's what the pressure, that's what pressure does.
6 from 2 balls from Chris Jordan. Bangladesh needs 7 from 10 to win the game and the series. Jordan in, it's a cutter again in towards the ribcage, swung into the leg side. Wokes makes absolutely sure on that occasion, so it's just a single. It means Taskin is back on strike. 112 for 6, 6 needed from 9 balls, and Josh Buttler has done the very sensible thing. He's walked all the way down to go and have a chat with his senior pro and say, well, probably anything. It probably just doesn't matter what you say at this point, just slow it all down. And then as they get to the end of the mark, right, what did we say the plan for Taskin was? And just talk it through.
Yeah, massively. Just try and take the sting out of the crowd. The crowd are pumped. That boundary first has really got them jumping. It's pretty much packed to the rafters here. They're bouncing. They can see their team winning this short mini-series. England, they like pressure. They've done well under pressure. And Chris Jordan's expertise. He's gone 7 runs off his 3 deliveries. He's under pressure here. Needs to finish big.
Left-handed Taskin's on strike. England have put fine leg back on the boundary and third on the boundary. They don't want an edge either way, flying away. Now Shanto's walked down for a chat. They're happy. Jordan goes in, bowls. Hammered over the offside by Taskin. He leant back into that one, sort of Caribbean Brian Lara style, and lashes it through wide long off for 4. And Bangladesh need 2 runs from 8 balls to win the game.
Fantastic cricket shot. I've been so impressed from this young man Taskin with the ball and now with the bat. As Macca described, Brian Lara-esque, flaying it over extra cover. Couple of bounces to the boundary. It was always going to be tough for Chris Jordan to bowl his first over here.
Jordan in once again. Taskin hammers over the covers, and that's it. Taskin finishes it with back-to-back boundaries. Shanto and Taskin are celebrating like they won the World Cup final itself, which might be exactly how it feels. They beat the defending T20 World Cup champions by 4 wickets. Bangladesh 120 for 6 in 18 overs and 5 balls, and Chris Jordan concedes 15 runs in 5 balls to end the game. Shanto 46 not out from 47 balls. Taskin 8 from 3. He's been fabulous with the ball, 1 for 27 from 4 overs earlier, but he finishes it off with the bat, and Bangladesh win by 4 wickets. 118 was what was required after bowling England out for 117, and Bangladesh get there with 7 balls to spare. Alex Tudor.
Yeah, we have to congratulate Bangladesh. They've been outstanding in this mini-series so far, winning the first game by 6 wickets, winning this second game by 4 wickets, keeping England down to only 117. They bowled extremely well up front with the new ball, Taskin and Mutasa, and then the spinners came on and went to work. They got a lot of purchase out this wicket here tonight, and the England players weren't able to deal with that. Then coming on to bat, to bowl, Jofra Archer, keeping England in it, bowling with hostility, with great pace and a lot of common sense. Bowling his second best T20 figures, 3 for 13 off his 4. But then Macca asked, we haven't seen Chris Jordan bowl yet tonight. Are we going to see him bowl at the back end? Josh Buttler obliged, gave him the 19th over, and he's ended up going for 15. It was always going to be a hard ask, you know, to bowl in a T20 game. You haven't bowled until the back end, even with all the experience that he has. It was always going to be a hard ask, and Taskin, who's been fantastic tonight, flay him over to the offside boundary twice, back-to-back boundaries. Bangladesh win. Congrats to them.
Absolutely. They're doing a virtual lap of honour at the moment around the edge of the ground. Everybody in the playing staff is currently climbing on Taskin Ahmed, giving him a slap on the back and congratulating him. Place is going absolutely crackers. They have taken this series. They are 2-0 up with 1 to play. We will bring you that game, of course, on Thursday as we complete this series.